That's my camera, you bitch.
Xander, I have a question for you.
Yo.
Was I here last session?
You weren't around for most of the sessions.
I mean, I miss a quarter of the sessions, exactly.
At least.
Yes, you are.
I miss a quarter of the sessions, except for the ones we don't play, which I don't include. I work nights every 4th Wednesday.
Cool.
Oh.
It appears that Thelsa and Jakob were in the right spots. That's perfect. So everybody is good now. Great. Guys, I'm going through the notes and... Whew! Boys, it's
a hot mess.
You going through changes?
There's a lot to cover, huh?
There's
a lot to
there's a lot to cover. You're not wrong, but more
you know
so,
what? If we're gonna do that, everybody do me a favor for the first time in 2020.
Because I can just turn your volume all the way down.
I need you to not.
I've turned his volume all the way
everyone,
down.
So last session we started all the way back on a coffee farm after we had saved a town from a bunch of baboons.
Stop. Just
there's a really large tree in the middle of the farm. But it's
I'm gonna walk away a while. You like if everyone can in unison giraffe squeak when you're done, so I can come back to the computer.
The fuck does a giraffe squeak sound like?
YouTube that shit.
All right, I'm on.
Okay,
All right, I'm turning Ronald back up.
You want me to do this? You want me to make sure that this is gonna go properly?
You can wait. Good. I'll give you the signal, okay? I'll squaw into the microphone for you, so you know.
All right. Cut.
Just fucking wait, Ronald. Jesus Christ. So it's been a long time since we played. A very, very long time since we played. Like a month and a half, I think. And in that time, we've come through a lot of personal story. In the grips of us playing our last, I would say 15 sessions. Some people have even suggested, Bub, what's the story anymore? And there is a lot of story to encompass and cover, but what it really boils down to is that I wanted to take enough time to gear you guys up for success in your personal stories to cover many things. For some of you, that meant closing the chapter in a character story, or closing that book entirely for others. For some of you, this is the pinnacle moment for your success. We can go over those in just a moment. Now here's the... There you go. This is your chance, Ronald. Go for it.
Was that the giraffes?
That squaw, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in 2020, for one of many, do me a favor and grab your chains and grab your locks for tonight's Shackled recap.
Why can I only mute him on my end and not the server?
Only Will has the power.
Yes. Thank you. So
Will has that
lots
power.
happened.
Yeah, a lot has happened. In fact, let's kick this off. Something cool here.
Oh, gotta put my music back.
Do I want to go with the Royal Salon? I don't think so. What? You know what? Tell me. What do you guys remember? What do you remember even happening the last time you played?
Cort's master's home. Well, home in the sense of town.
We tried to go to the Brass Trumpet, and we were more or less convinced not to go in to look for Gilfrey Silverlight.
Oh yeah, Fables.
As for the most part, he would be the one to contact us, and he's more or less made it clear to the rest of the last lap that he's going to exact his revenge on us when he's good and ready to, as well as having Fables notify us that he would contact us when he's good and ready to. From there, we had it where... Holy shit. From there, we ended up going back to Thelsa's story, where she was just coming back from what's the city called? Sasserine.
Correct.
She had been told that if more or less she can get her following and stuff going from there and make sure it's well maintained, they would speak with the essentially like the elders of the following of Weejas to anoint her to the new position of the head mistress to the temple in Cauldron. Upon finding out, though, Ike Iverson met up with Jakob, who he ended up pursuing an invisible target that had been following him. Upon finding an abandoned house, he was met with Ike, and Ike essentially said that he doesn't want Thelsa ascending to this new position. And
Why? I'm curious. Why now? Why not just assume your position and not let anyone usurp and take that from you?
He didn't really make it too clear on that, but more or less, it was from the betterment of one of our allies. Essentially, to deny or attack him would cause the life of Jenya to be deceased. As he ended up finishing talking with Jakob and having this discussion where he wanted to make sure that Thelsa wasn't going to come into power, he kind of left it open-ended where when he walked out, he kind of gave us a wave, and as I tried to hold person on him, the spell failed, and he ended up getting away. Going down the line, Cort's master, Myron?
Yeah,
Great.
Greyweather.
Greyweather, yeah. Myron Greyweather wants to take Chobs and train him to be a young knight,
Yes,
but he
I'm
wants
starting
to do this outside of the city because of all the recent dangers and the loss of his parents. He doesn't really want him to be around all that evil, I guess, that's surrounding the city. He knows it, and he said setting up a small cabin would be a pretty good idea for him to train some of the young boys that might be orphaned to becoming knights one day, but he didn't want to do it there. We made him an offer to see if he'd want to try to run the orphanage in that regard, but he kind of turned that down.
Okay. Why do you think he turned it down?
He said the amount of people or the amount of children orphaned due to the events of the first flame, killing a lot of the elderly and older people that were still left in the city, or the weakest in the city. He didn't want. He couldn't fathom taking in that many people to train them efficiently. And it wasn't something that even with money that he felt like he could do effectively with another person there with him. So to have a smaller, more concentrated group of people that he felt that would be more adequate would be something more preferred in his, I guess, in his mind. So he said he wanted. I think I offered him roughly 500 gold from the cut that we would be receiving from the statue that we're still waiting on to give him the funds to go and start that cabin that he wanted to, or the small school outside of the city. Carrying further on, we ended up finding out that the mayor is still kind of trying to make sure Rahk kind of chooses a side for either, I guess, giving him information on what we're doing, and I don't think Rahk's really come to a decision on that yet, but given the recent circumstances after we've had our talk, given the amount of lives that have been taken, that's looking more and more like the case that he might be siding with the mayor.
Right.
Finally got the guild started up.
Let's swing it. We want to try to swing this so we can get some variance in here. Otherwise, it'll end up just being you entirely telling the tale, and I want to give everybody an option to tell something, right? To even talk about one thing that they can recall. Even if they missed a few sessions, they still have some information regarding the most recent events of their character, and that's kind of important. So I know that we got a little bit of information right away out of Red, so I want to see what Red can say. You've got some things that's happening specifically for your character in regards to your patron of sorts, your master.
Yeah, he came home. He's pretty cool with me finding a new master. He thinks I've grown up to be quite a fine young lad. And he sees how strong I am. And he thinks that the company I keep isn't complete garbage. So, I'm trying to remember if there was anything else beyond that. Because I remember I had a talk with Fables as well. I remember I offered to help Marion with his kind of orphanage, kind of training camp thing. I said I'd help him build it. But for the most part, my allegiance is with our crew.
Okay, so now that he's here, what role does he play?
Kind of like a dad.
He's just playing a father?
Well, he was already Cort's father figure, but now it's less of my master and more of like someone who I would go to if I needed advice on something.
Okay.
If I'm starting to think that our group is truly turning bad, I could go to him and ask him, seeing as he's had experience with groups, that kind of stuff, like
Right.
the life adventure of an old man.
Okay, so he's here to do.
He's
He's here to do what now, though? Just live? Is that
seems like it?
as a one-armed knight? He is just gonna live out his glory days, sipping tea and eating cookies.
I mean, he's raising people to be the next generation.
Who's he raising?
Orphans.
Okay, let's step that back for anybody here. Anybody can answer this. Who is he raising specifically? Anybody?
Chobs.
Jobs, yeah. He's taking in jobs. Why isn't he taking on more?
Because too many will dilute the pot.
Sort of,
He
yeah.
can't, he can't train 16 people at once. At least not as proficiently as he could train, let's say, 1 to 3.
Not to mention, the guy's only got one arm. You can only go ahead and slap so many kids up.
That's
But
true.
He'll slap that motherfucker with a flip flop.
He's gonna break out the medieval chancla and fuck some kids up, man. So, what other kids would go? Like just quote unquote orphans? How many orphans are still alive? Do you know? Have you guys taken account?
No, we just know lots of people are dead. We watched a bunch of people get fucking Yoshi stomped in the.
I want to say that we actually did say a number in one of the last 2 sessions, and it was like 500 or something.
Well, that's how many were killed, but I don't think we gave a definite number to the orphan.
No, there was a number. There was a number count because of the total amount of lives lost and stuff. This was, I think, prior to the last.
We didn't have a
attack.
de facto. This is how many orphans are around, but he would probably look for aspiring orphans who would want to. Maybe assumedly get back at the world.
Aspiring orphans just sounds like they want to have their parents killed.
No. We only got one aspiring orphan in this particular group, and she happens to be Thelsa. No, I do know that we had enough orphans that Jacob had recommended.
Aspiring orphans.
Inspiring orphan? Aspiring? Yeah, I don't think she was like,
perspiring
when
orphan,
I,
actually.
yeah, it's course. When I grow up, I'm gonna have no one.
When I grow up, I'm gonna be Batman. Bye, Mom. Bye, Dad.
Self-inflicted
Time to
Batman? Oh, that seems very wrong on a lot of levels. You're not wrong, though, about the amount of people that are in the town. You guys suffered tremendous losses. Do you remember what the population was before the Bumbles had any effect whatsoever?
That's cute.
It was like 5,000 or something like that, right?
That's how many people have died. 5,250 people have died. Or fled.
So it was
then
like
it was 10,000.
5,300, right?
You guys would
50
be
people left.
you would be so
no,
lucky.
We
It's at
we
least
lost like
more
half the
than that.
population, so it was like 10. I think it was closer to 10.
It was 8,500 people. That was the population of the center of this location of the town of Cauldron. It was a population of 8,500, and and more or less in the decisions that you've made, instead of looking at it necessarily like your actions or inactions have left X amount of people dead, more along the lines of your actions or inactions have left this many people alive. How many people would still be would still have died had you not done anything.
Quite a significant portion.
You think?
Probably all of them. More.
You think it's all of them?
Yeah.
I mean, but at the same time, we were kind of the cause. So if you remove us entirely from this situation, there'd probably be significantly more people alive.
Will, you're shaking your head. What do you think?
They would have had the
Nah.
flood season. The flood season would have really sucked for them.
Yeah, but they didn't die there.
Yeah.
But
That's
would
kind of the
they
point.
have?
I mean,
We saved
probably,
them from the
but
floods. I don't understand why they're so mad about the vampires. I feel like they're just really focusing on that one terrific incident.
we really need to work on the whole lesser of two evils thing. I think we're pretty bad at that.
Yeah, and even though
the
we
ends
don't,
justify the means, okay?
yeah, and even though we as a party don't know it, we're kind of responsible for the
Tagline for our
vampire
entire
thing anyway.
adventure.
Just wait.
The ends
Just
of
keep
everyone dying justify
the means,
of
yeah.
Of us
everyone dying.
The ends of their lives justify the means of our heart.
Of our survival.
By that you mean our wallets.
By that I mean we mean good, but we end up killing everyone anyways.
You mean good.
I don't kill innocents anymore.
You mean good
Anymore.
unless they have
That
familial
good one.
ties to you.
At least I never killed children.
You know,
I just killed young
I don't know.
adults.
Wasn't your sister young?
Young
I would
adult.
say that the most positive and or influential person in the party that's actively going out of their way to make positive decisions, regardless of how much it rocks the boat, is Rahk.
Oh yeah, most
Rocks the
definitely.
boat.
It's because I'm solid.
Rock solid.
Solid.
That's right.
I was going for solid like a rock, but it's fine. Whatever.
Yes, your new nickname is, Chevy.
Heavy like Chevy.
No, like a rock.
Chevy like
Old
a rock.
advertising campaign. I feel old now.
You should, because that shit was real fucking old.
Yeah, man. That's okay. I remember it. I was in middle school, though. That means that they were
Sniper
in
was
elementary
20.
school. They were very young.
Oh god.
I keep forgetting how young they are.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I'm
that's
so
okay.
used to, stupid dropping the bar. But it turns out they're right on par.
It's all right, man. So,
Why do I gotta be old?
time. It's the damnedest thing, right?
Yeah,
So Rahk
it
is
exists.
he is your
Rock.
he is yeah, in a lot of ways he is. He is just that. He is the moral rock of the group. Even if it comes to shaking things up, making people upset, questioning their decision making. Where does Thelsa stand in all this? Thelsa, you have only recently turned over a new leaf.
Far other side of the chaotic spectrum.
Yeah, I currently I'm seeing to it that I wasn't brought back. I know I didn't die. I wasn't aided from life and given purpose for no reason, and so I'm going to see to it that that we just doesn't turn into the new helm.
Okay, and what regards for? Let's pretend that there are a lot of new people that are watching right now.
Thelsa fears that with everyone fleeing the Church of Saren Ray and everything starting to fall to shambles, and knowing that there's only one other church in the immediate area, unless you want to travel overseas, is in she's worried that it's going to fall off, and like the old gods, their religion is just going to fall off the face of this earth. Cease to exist.
Okay, all right. So Helma's just gone. Then are
Well,
there no believers left in the world?
Not gone, just forgotten.
Okay,
There is still some believers in hell. Not a lot, but like two.
like to. So whom are we thinking?
I know Ulhime is, but I can't recall the other. The other one's trapped in Ulhime's realm, but I don't think that actually counts because he's not.
Okay,
Jimothy.
Yeah,
yeah.
Jimothy, the son of Griffin. The,
Yeah.
The
owner
one
of
I killed.
the tavern.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
It's
The
true.
one you black tentacled.
Don't make it sound like that.
It really do be like that.
Yeah. In this case, I think it might.
It just
I mean, you literally ran into a bar and you're like, "It's morphin' time," and then blew up everyone in it.
can we just kind of go, oh yeah, I accidentally killed the kid. No, I killed him with tentacles.
A kid?
You killed lots of people.
Several
No,
kids.
I killed one person in that bar.
No.
And it was Jimothy.
You killed
You
one
killed a lot of
child.
guards.
You killed guards additionally.
But we didn't talk about them because they're guards and nobody gives a fuck.
Nobody cares about adults. It's the kid that everybody cared about. I did express that. You killed guards as well. No other living people outside of adventurers and the bar owners were able to make it out. Remember,
Including the things we were in there to kill.
the
though.
Tip Tankard it's a cop bar.
Was.
Yeah. You even killed whores. Nobody cared about the whores, man.
That's fair. But there was only one that really lived to be a legend, and I don't know if you guys remember her name.
Well, no, I just know that art emulates life in that aspect, but moving back to the game.
Yeah, Karate got it. This boy got it.
Jolene, that's right.
The only one that mattered.
Jolene, that's right. Jolene lives. So, what's happening in Rahk's world? What's going on there?
Fucking whole lot of shit, man.
Yeah, that's accurate. But yeah. Start anywhere.
Anywhere, huh?
Give me anything.
Well, you know, the recently orphaned Chobs is kind of a handful, but also he's being handed off to Marion, so it's really not as much my problem anymore. Doesn't stop it from weighing heavy on my mind, but still. So now I've been tasked sort of unofficially with guiding these fuckers morally and sometimes literally. And it's scary as shit, man. After seeing what they did to this town, I don't know that I want that responsibility.
That's fair. That's incredibly fair and justified, I think. Right? Like I feel like it's fairly justified. You've been led by multiple parties up to this point to speak about the position of this squad. This now unnamed group of sellswords who formerly went by what? What was your actual name?
Flurry of Bros.
The Flurry of Bros.
But now all of those motherfuckers are dead.
Up until recently, you went unnamed. What is your new name? What is your guild name?
Order of the Shield and Soul.
Order of the Shield and Soul. Which nobody seems to have much of a problem with, so I'm fine with
I
that.
straight up don't remember that happening, actually.
I do.
Yeah. Yeah, in the last...
As far as Jacob is concerned, he still doesn't know about the guild and his signature.
Oh, yeah, because Ronald forged it.
So it's all going to come as a surprise eventually once somebody tells him.
But you guys did have a group meeting. It was the first time that we sat almost everyone in the room, with an exception of Jacob, because Jacob was out of town. You were running an errand for whom? And what was its purpose?
I was running an errand for... Oh, man, I can't remember the name of the green-eyed bitch. Kiana Green, yeah. I was running an errand for Kiana Green to go ahead and seek assistance from other cities, and actually ran into Marion on my way back. And a couple other things, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. Yeah, let's kind of taper. We're gonna go back to Will in just a moment to speak more about Rahk, but your journey led you to what locations?
Oh, please don't. It was Red Gorge.
Yeah. There was three places you went to.
I just flat can't remember.
There was Red Gorge.
Mm-hmm.
You went to see Sassarine.
Thank you.
And the third place. What does anybody remember the third place? They're a fan of snakes. Yeah, the Citadel.
Snake Town.
Snake Town. That's it. This is
I
like
love Snake Town.
it's like kindergarten. Everyone shout out the answer now. Snakeville. No, you're an idiot. You fail.
Snaky McSnakeface.
It's
No.
a piece of snake to bake a pretty snake.
Rahk,
God damn
Ulhime, you guys are my memory.
Yeah, you went to the 3 places. You went to the Leven Citadel for whom runs that place, Ulhime?
Balthar.
Some
Bal-
random ass bugbear.
Balthar, but what are they called? They have titles.
The Wardens.
The Wardens. So it's the Wardens at the Citadel. You went to Red Gorge to speak to whom and for what exactly?
Went ahead and looked for carpenters, and I'm trying to remember. It had something to do with stonework.
Very
Members of the
close.
Chisel.
You went to speak to
Masons?
members of the Chisel. Yeah, well, close.
The
It's
Chasen.
the
Chisel.
yes, the Chisel. The Chisel is a privatized group where you guys found in the Redhead Miners Inn, and they offered aid, but not without some
Yes.
and a little bit of backlash. Why was there some backlash?
Because Jakob went ahead and, Jared actually went ahead and made some waves there, and yeah,
It wasn't.
there was,
It wasn't that Jared made waves. This is not actually something that you guys did.
well, okay, not Jared, his older brother, the elder Skellering,
Yes.
which was technically the younger Skellering, but yeah, he made some waves by marching on.
Yeah.
Marching on there with the Blue Duke.
Cauldron marched with the Blue Duke with an army of about 380 war-trained orcs, like half-orcs, to descend upon Red Gorge to collect a rogue individual by the name of what? He was a paladin.
It was a good
Guys.
Was it the guy who got bitch slapped by
Tercion.
Not Tercion.
Tercion.
No.
Tercival, sorry.
Percival.
Yep.
Tercival.
There
Alec-
you go.
Alec Tercival.
Alec
correct.
Tercival.
Alec Tercival.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say Alec Tercion. I was like, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah, he was.
I feel like we're Helen Keller. Percival.
Jesus fucking Christ, man.
What did I say? What did
No
I
one-
say? What did I say before? This is like, wait a moment. He's gonna pass it and be like, hold my beer. Let me get real offensive.
He's how can I make a lot of people mad in a very short span of time? I'll say this.
Hey, the only people who'd be really pissed off about that couldn't hear me anyway.
That's not accurate.
Twitch now presented a described video for the visually.
Jesus fuck, man.
You know what?
Come on.
Believe it or not, Sniper, you're part of the reason that I haven't put closed captioning on this cast yet.
I mean, if we're talking Helen Keller style, then that wouldn't help either.
Jesus, man. Give it a
Time
fucking
the
rest.
streams
I didn't know that you had a
brain.
shovel behind you.
All right, let's deviate away from this portion. Before
Hey, I didn't make
get
the
someone on
minor.
channel.
I didn't make the miners joke that I wanted to, so I had to go big.
All right,
Oh.
yeah.
So, how
You want
about
a
them
fucking
gas
cookie?
prices?
Before Bubs gets his channel
Goddamn
closed down, let's continue on.
Yeah. Yeah, let's. Please. Yes. He was pretty upset at some of the actions that had occurred there. There was a march and a threat of potential war, of a breakout, a siege of their town to seek this individual that they were believed to have been housing. That didn't really sit very well, considering the aid that they have offered many times prior in their affiliations with Cauldron as is. So, he said he'd think about it. Think about it. What does that actually mean? Does that actually mean that you guys are gonna, I don't know, get a bunch of help from Red Gorge, or...
No.
They really like us, so yeah, we'll get lots of.
Yeah, you think so?
Mhm.
Okay,
I'm
all
sure
right.
they're
There's
send
the
over their full
potential.
armor.
Nobody has showed up yet.
Every
We went to the
everything in
wardens to
your
go
armor
ahead and
gets
ask
to
for
us.
extra guards because the guard force was relegated down to like 4 people. Went to Red Gorge to ask for assistance with carpentry and masons.
Yep.
Went to Sassarine for assistance with foodstuffs because
Yeah.
they happened to have a more vibrant grain market. And I can't remember the name of the last city, but I went there basically for salt and fish.
Sasserine.
Sasserine with salt and fish.
Yes.
Was that the third place I went?
Sasserine, Citadel, and Red Gorge were the 3 places you went.
Correct.
Oh, I thought there was one more city.
You went to the Wardens for protection because you didn't know what was coming.
Mm-hmm.
You went to Red Gorge to look for trade and hired aid to bring any kind of people back to the town. And you went for food to Sasserine because they were a port city. And there's not a port for miles, so they pretty much have the biggest pull of fish. So you called in all the favors that you could.
Oh, yeah. I went ahead and kissed much ass. But, yeah, on the way back, that's when I actually ran into Marion.
Marion, yes.
And had my dream. And ran into an elemental spark.
You did, in fact. It went a little viciously. It went a little viciously, if I can say so myself.
I basically bluffed real hard on that bad boy.
To give everybody an idea of what exactly occurred, give us the flourish of the story. Tell us what you recall.
Well, post Dream of Helm, Jakob was rushing to the city upon his bony pony.
Correct. With
Marion strapped to the saddle of his own, since he was still weak and wounded. And in approaching the city and seeing it ablaze, because, well, there was this towering fire elemental in the background, the second spark or first spark, can't quite recall,
second,
ends up crossing our paths. And when faced with the decision of turning and running and defending Marion, he actually rode up, drew steel, and put a line in the sand. Well, apparently elementals have really great senses of humor. And he basically just kind of clued me in on what was going on and went upon his merry way, incidentally leaving a trail of destruction and kind of incidental, really, really swift movement.
Yeah.
Which killed my bony pony.
He created like something equivalent to like a slipstream of sorts. So you were able to get inside and move significantly faster than you could under normal means, which made for almost instantaneous travel. But yes, it did come to consequence. You lost your horse, and you had to foot it with an unconscious man on your shoulder. You were still moving infinitely faster than most anyone by foot, unless, of course, they had some sort of supernatural means or spell casting at their aid.
Namely Thelsa.
Correct.
Also, you tree running like you've never seen.
Yeah. Stepping through trees, just wood hopping like mad.
Yeah, you can go ahead and step through trees. I'm going to go ahead and learn how to do that lightning walk trick again. You watch.
All right. Yeah, just let me level up once more and I can walk through shadows. So.
That's not horrifying at all.
I just want to be able to cast a lightning bolt and skate on that bad boy.
It's not off-brand for Thelsa, to be honest.
No,
True.
It's not.
Though I can definitely see how Jacob's going to train for that. He's just going to repeatedly hit himself with a lightning bolt.
Jump as you're casting a lightning bolt.
Almost got it that time!
I'm interested in the timing of riding a lightning bolt, considering it's literally an instantaneous spell.
I saw it happen in Fortnite, right? Like this fire thing, hopping it right in places.
Rockets?
Yeah,
it's the same thing. You just got to jump when someone's firing a rocket.
Yeah.
Or a lightning
A
bolt.
lightning
No, you
bolt.
gotta do that since it's an instantaneous thing. You gotta do the Halo thing. You gotta have a long sword, right? And you cast a spell, and then you do attack, and you just follow it the whole way, and you just auto kill whatever he knows.
Huh.
It's
That's
like
how
the
that
old
works.
school Halo sword cancels where you go across the map.
Yep.
But yeah, that's when I ended up making it back to the city and seeing just how bad everyone fucked things up. And apologized profusely to Kian,
Ever the blameless one, aren't you?
Always. That's his MO. Oh, it's
I
perfect.
catch a lot of blame for shit that really isn't my fault. Let's be honest.
Yeah, but you do a lot of this shit. That you
When
catch.
I fuck up hard.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong.
But I don't fuck up near as much. I mean, hell, I got over 100 counts of murder against me that I didn't do.
You're right. You're only responsible for at least.
You're right. I haven't collected all of the numbers of the actual bodies you've legitimately piled up. That could be significantly more, to be honest.
It's in the realm. Like, are we talking innocence or just dead bodies?
Dead bodies purely.
Okay, if you have to clarify, there's your fucking problem.
It's not his fault. He was raised this way.
Yeah.
Blame
I
his parents.
can still count the innocent bodies on just 2 hands. So we're okay there.
The fact that you have to count it at all is a problem.
How do you count on your 2 hands?
If you're so keen at the justification process of how many men that you have killed accidentally versus purposefully versus what you've legitimately been accused of that's not accurate, might I remind you about literally an angelic guardian that you guys turned into a vegetable and nerd circled and beat haphazardly until he could no longer. He did not deserve it.
He fought us.
No, he didn't.
No, it was literally a party member trying to talk to him, and 4 people were just like, maybe we should just beat him up. And I was like,
What were you told to do?
I do want to go ahead and counter that by saying Will was the one that went ahead and did the info stuff.
Hey,
I was not about to let Feeble Mind go unused, okay?
I simply went in for the mercy kill after standing back that first round and being like, what the fuck? Because I was going to be the one carrying that sin on my shoulders.
And just follow me on this. You could just not.
There was no way to avoid it. It had to come.
How was I supposed to know he was going to recover?
Classic. It's perfect. It's like for those of you that didn't see this scene, I'll replay it very quickly for you. They're in hell, the 507th layer of hell, might I add. He's been trapped down there. They walk up. He's part man. He's part bird. He looks really sad. He's trapped. He says, "I've been trapped here for a long time. I used to be a protector. Used to be a protector of a god. You may have heard of him. His name's Helm. If you didn't, that's fine. Not everybody's heard of the guy, at least from what I recall. Oh, by the way, I'm supposed to fight you. Well, I don't know if I wanted that, but you kind of look familiar. Wait a minute, aren't you the reason that my god died and so all of the other gods fell? That's your fault? I think I'm supposed to feel bad and kick you. Oh, why are you stabbing me? Was it that?
Well, he was gonna fight us.
Yeah.
He literally, in no uncertain terms, told us, if you want to progress past this point, you have to fight me.
Yeah.
I am not going to let you pass peacefully.
Yeah.
And at that point, I was like, well,
all
sorry,
right, well,
you're going to lose all of
and
your
in the midst of the negotiations, he saw me and racially profiled me.
That's definitely it. That's definitely it.
The 507th layer of hell of stop and frisk. Is that like what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
Look,
he instantly assumed that I'm the reason Helm fell and Celestia was gone.
Yeah.
But
he was right.
He assumed correctly.
You know, one tiefling and suddenly no one can ride the plasma jets anymore.
He was 100% right. But still, it felt a little like I was being profiled.
Look, all it took was one dude
no,
putting a
guys,
bomb in a shoe,
I got
and now
profiled
everyone
off
takes their fucking shoes off.
Oh no, I got profiled off my appearance just like no one else in this call knows what that's about. Dang, how do we handle that? Maybe I had to ask the person who's actually gone through it at one point of their life. No? Just attack anyway?
Right,
Alright,
what is it like?
Well, I didn't have a car to get out of, and I didn't have the ability to lay on the ground, so...
Or you could just watch this. Look, you remember that circle? I was like, hey, he can't come through here. We can just walk around it. And you're like, no. And I was like, I guess not. Because
My favorite part about the entire encounter is after he was dead, destroyed, and never coming back, Ulhime was like, God damn it. This is terrible. This is and Jakob was like, but, I mean... And Ulhime was like, stop it. Stop it. This is mostly your fault. Stop it.
Not completely, because I don't want you to feel bad about it, but mostly.
Pretty much.
See, Guardian.
Worse yet, I was responsible by default because Helm was like, oh, come here. Slick.
Look, you should know better than to shake the hands of deities.
Yeah, last time I go ahead and trust some big, gentle god in the sky.
When have the deities ever been nice to us?
No. To me.
Saren Ray fucking obliterated one of us.
It was me. It's me he's talking about.
I
Yeah.
prayed to that deity, and she still slashed me in a bit.
Pharasma yells at Ronald all the time.
Whoa. Pharasma's not his chosen deity, though, and it's because he keeps fucking going full trickster god and stealing her playthings. How would you feel if some dude was walking in your house, jacking your shit, and then being like, "We could be cool, right? Like this isn't a problem."
Next time, I'm just gonna show up.
taking this now.
I'm like, just passing through. I just pop out another portal.
Just one.
Sorry.
Open up
Okay,
the
and I
fridge, take
do
the
need
soda.
to just-
Hey, you don't mind if I take this, right? Cool. Later. Bye.
And I do just need to interject for the sake of chat. Mokari, eat a bag of dicks.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Once or one at a time?
Should just change name to Scapegoat instead of
No,
SniperGoat.
Jacob is the scapegoat in most of this game.
First off, Scapegoat's a very useful Yu-Gi-Oh
Scapegoats
card
usually
in,
don't obliterate
in this game.
Dark's chest with an ice ray.
Sniper just draws attention to himself and therefore is like a weird scatter shot of like pain and suffering.
He's
I'm like,
a fucking rodeo clown.
I'm like, hey, let me help this poor man. Let me help him get his life together, and then boom, my fucking god's dead. I'm just like, this guy.
Oh Lord, that's
You're
like,
the
it's-
one that took me to see him.
I'm like, it's your fault. I blame you for every bad thing that's happened in my life since the moment I started this campaign. You understand me? It's all your fault.
Every
Everything that
time-
happens.
it's out of game too. It's out of game. Every time he gets pulled over now, it's definitely Sniper's fault.
Every time I try to do a Verizon activation and it doesn't go right, I blame you. You know why? 'Cause it's your fault. It's your fault this happened.
Oh goodness gracious!
Potentially, yeah, it is.
I pray
But
for the day.
we actually did-
We
We actually did round out the last session with Charlie Miles showing up, possessed by Helm.
So Charlie showed up to speak to a few characters, but not directly to Ulhime, right?
Correct. Yeah, because by the time I got there, he had already,
He was already back to
ended his
He turned back.
possession. Yeah.
Yeah. So why did Charlie show up mysteriously at the bathhouse? What role has he played?
The conduit of Ulhime, of Helm. He's essentially like his vessel for the time being.
A big thing that was missed here was that there was a relic to Helm that was opened or broken that Sasha had cracked. I don't really know how to say it. I don't know if it was broken or Helm was released his idea, essentially. And it was then moved into Charlie as they're in the same building. And I don't really know how it works. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but this was the thing that happened.
So okay, all right. Let's again. It's dialing back here. How was Helm released? Or does anybody know at all?
I know somewhat. I don't know exactly what happened.
Okay.
But there was a pendant that we found. It was manacles that had like a void charm in the middle that when you touched it, it made your finger turn to rot and fall off like it did to Ulhime. And in return for Sasha aiding the city during the Goblin Raid, she had requested it. And so I was like, sure, I'll bring it to you. And then I did. Little quest line, I was sneaky, and anyways, this happened. And I got it to her, and this artifact that she had in her possession, I don't know whether she broke it or opened it, but from it came Helm's possession of Charlie.
Why did you give her this?
Because I didn't think the town would make it without her help. And frankly, if we were all dead, then why would the charm be any good in our hands?
That's fair. That's fair. So you guys just had this relic
Valid point.
that was chilling in the mostly destructed bathhouse. And she said, "Give me this toy, and I'll help you with your gob prob."
We recognized that it was of great power. We just didn't know how to use it or what it was. And when we seek to appraise it, they were like, "Nah, get this away."
Yeah, I think we were waiting to try to get the soul of another demon inside the book of questions, but we have yet to encounter another demon. At this point, I'm gonna fucking just take it on Jacob. Like, read this and get your soul sucked into it so I can get the answers.
Wait, what? What is this?
The book of questions, the one that can absorb a celestial or infernal.
At what cost?
The one, it devours their entire life force in exchange for a single question to be answered.
And you have this?
Yes.
That sounds dangerous.
It is.
Very much so.
How did you find this out previously?
It was in Occipitus when I went back to find. I think I called him Harold before he before his life force was pulled into the book after he had opened it, because I couldn't decipher what it was saying, and then I found out because of my unusual necrotic or demonic and angelic pool that it didn't really affect me the same way that it did him, where it essentially absorbed him, and through that he essentially got all the knowledge from every other demon and angel inside that book, but it only permits me to ask one question per soul that gets drawn into it.
Who made this book? Do you recall?
It wasn't Nab. It was the first.
Neil Gaiman.
No.
Orcus?
Don't think I.
No?
I don't remember. Not that part.
Okay. All right. Then that's a question that you guys should probably record. You should write this down on this. If you guys have
Just
questions
ask
that you
them,
feel
yeah.
like need to be answered, then you should definitely start writing this down. And even at the very bottom, so we can file it under things that are still important to figure out.
Oh, if you don't see my notes, they're all on my character sheet in the Roll20 game.
Well, this something that I'm going to be doing here is my goal is to compile these notes into this Google Doc down into effective bits of information for pretty much everything that you guys have encountered in the last 170 sessions. And then I will be releasing this to Shackled City patrons, to the Patreon patrons, for anybody that wants this information. If you want to know character descriptions, if you want to know positions in the town, what's happening outside of post-show things, this is the place to get that. So this is going to be an extra that's going to be thrown back out to anyone. There's going to be lots of information here. Not everybody's going to find use for this immediately, I understand that, but this is going to be valuable to anyone that wants to stay caught up and try to remember things that clearly not all my players can, and that's okay.
I find it funny that the first thing I open and look at the notes for is Jimothy's note, which the first bit of it is Jimothy, ravaged by Jacob's tentacles.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Athernus, for the sub, brother. I appreciate that. Welcome in. I hope that you've enjoyed what you've seen thus far. And I appreciate that.
I made sure to put some stars next to Lapook, because that was the saddest death we've had in this campaign.
It is, in fact, the saddest death. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. So
I'm sorry, I killed the dog.
even if you guys, if you're going through as the players, because the players have this as well, if you're going through this character list, if you can think of a name that's not on the character list, and if you can just put it down, that's super important, because then we can start tracking how they kind of fit into the game, into the city.
I just read Leslie's favorite flavor text, and it's great.
I didn't read it. What was it?
Queen of the Hose.
Queen of the Horse. Yeah. Some of these are really good. Some of these are actually really, really good. My favorite so far was Sasha is in all caps fucking dragon.
Yeah, Will was a little surprised by that.
I mean, I don't blame you. You know, that's a.
Wait, what rat better be on the list?
I don't know. There's a lot of.
Oh, he's talking about Keegan's.
Oh, Starbrow.
Yeah, but Starbrow's alive.
Starbrow is correct, but this isn't all people that are dead.
Oh, that is true.
Just mostly.
Of interest.
There are a lot of NPCs that you guys have killed, or inadvertently allowed their deaths.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's also important.
Well, let's be honest. I'm the one that really has to go ahead and. Well, no, Red went ahead and ran one off,
I didn't
but
do
I'm the
anything.
one who's responsible for his ultimate demise and
Wait, who did I run
slaying,
off?
so
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
remember executing
fuck.
anyone.
So I'm still responsible. Shit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was just you, homie.
So, I think it begs the question, going down to the very bottom, if y'all would. New notes, starting here. If you would, let's begin sort of keying in. Here, I'm going to give you guys some different lines. So everybody can start writing on a different line.
Here, I'll add my cursor to the group of people.
Include them wherever you'd like to. What are some things that you feel like is happening for your character? What kind of conflicts is your character seeing right now?
Gilfrey Silverlight is an issue.
Yeah, that's a big problem.
Still missing the leader of the Temple of Cort. Still haven't located him. Still trying to find the potentially last member of the Flurry of Bros, which is Malgrim. We still haven't found a body.
Okay, so
And Nab the Torrent's still on the loose.
Nab the Torrent. That's a name. Man, that's a name that hasn't been said yet.
That's that one guy. Who,
We could speak at
likes
length
to-
about Nab the Torrent, right? Probably for a little while. He has been a thorn for quite a while.
I was hoping you were turning it to Comic Sans.
No.
I got excited.
Who is Nab the Torrent?
He's
Jacob's dad.
Jacob's daddy.
It's Jacob's dad. Like, are we talking mentor or biological father or how?
Yes.
Biological.
Spiritual.
All right, so Jacob,
I have my father's claws.
The bequeather of legs.
Jacob, how are tieflings made?
Oh, well, tieflings are usually made by the inclusion of an infernal bloodline.
Okay.
Either through some sorceress inclusion via, via contract, or, Demon and Mommy got behind the woodshed and just started banging one out.
Like they were like making a bench? Is that what you mean by banging one out?
Sure.
Okay.
They made a
When
really
a mommy
nice
and a daddy
bench.
love each other very much, they get into carpentry.
Yeah,
And
that's
then a
what
baby.
I got from that. All right. So mom and dad are suddenly carpenters. Feels weird, man. Carpentry
Yeah, we're
noted.
Jesus.
I'm gonna use the
Oh.
restroom real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right. So he's your biological father as far as you know by blood and not just by contract.
Going by what he says, and well, given the fact that my carapace matches his pretty closely, I'm kind of,
You're inclined
starting
to agree.
to agree.
Sure.
I'm inclined.
How many
The same markings and everything.
how many
It's like,
tieflings and demons and devils do you think hang out with their dads on the weekend?
none.
None of them, right? That feels about accurate. I would say it's a very low percentage if it's any.
Still not happening. I don't
mean,
choose
managed
to hang
run
with
into
him.
yours a lot.
Yeah, your dad just he loves you, right?
He just comes over to you and tosses the football with you every other Sunday.
Football just happens to be a sheep's head.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's missing
and
a leg.
Sunday just happens to be, making me into the Dawnbringer.
and
So, jokes aside, why? Why is your father a known demonic general on the mortal coil hanging out with you? What does that mean?
Well, from what Jared has been able to gather, the entire reason of Jared's existence has been
Jared or Jacob?
specifically. Oh yeah, Jacob. My apologies. It's the J's.
Stop making J names, you fucker.
But I like being called Mr. J.
his next character, Jathaniel.
Normally, I'm completely in agreement here with Will, but at the same time, don't even try to pronounce Will's character's full name.
Whoa! I will say this.
It's sort of-
If I may.
Nero,
it sort of
Enro.
sounds like if someone is rapidly trying to plunge a toilet. Rocks at the America blog.
That is not exactly it. I mean, close enough, I guess.
What is it? What is it? I'm curious.
Keeps going on. You know, this shit keeps going
Yeah,
on.
it's Crush. Is it? Give me the whole thing. Give me the full name.
It's Rahk Tharksar Gumali's Crusher of Bones.
There you go.
Yeah.
What in the
Nice and
fuck
simple.
possessed
I
you
don't
to come
understand
up
why
with a
everyone
name
can't
like
say it.
that?
Rahk likes hot tamales.
God damn it. Yes.
But no, I mean, I'm curious. What possessed you to make a name like that, knowing full fucking well we weren't
Because
going
he's
to
an
do
orc.
I mean, why do you think I fucking picked a nickname? Come on now.
Well, you were going to get one anyway with a name like that.
Exactly, so I made it myself before you had a fucking chance to get at it.
Otherwise, he would probably end up he'd be calling you like tamales.
He'd be the bone digger.
I don't know. I don't think so. He doesn't dig with bones, though.
I hope nobody digs with bones.
No, I think instead of
It's a really
being
inefficient
an
way to dig.
if it was up to Jacob, he'd have been like, Boner!
Well, let's not ever leave him up to anything, I suppose.
There's a reason I'm not the de facto leader of this party.
Last time we left Sniper alone with a character, his butt got stuck on a door.
Was it his butt or his mouth?
Yes.
That was his previous Mr. J.
I mean, sometimes the butt is called the south mouth, so, I mean...
Oh! No, it's not! Nuh-uh! That's nasty! Stop
For
it!
what it's worth, blame chat for going ahead and starting that. And it was a really well-polished, like, years of hand use knob, okay? It just went down easy.
Years of hand use.
Why are you... Just stop it! Ah! I'm still stuck on Southmouth, and you went...
Title
You went with the...
your autobiography is
Yeah.
Years of Hand Use.
Do not want. Oh, that's rough. Well, for those of you that are entering into the stream for the first time today, or you're returning, you're finding out a lot about my playgroup. I am only slightly sorry. Only slightly. I
You
promise.
motherfuckers knew what you were showing up for.
I promise it does get better-ish.
We're serious
Sometimes.
at least 30% of the time.
Yeah.
That's a low number.
So, I propose to the rest of you, since Jacob is sort of on the fence here of its importance, what is the point of Naphtatorin still sticking around? Why? What do
Well,
you...
I haven't
because
yet to
he's
go
working
ahead and
with the
explain,
demon
but sure.
All right, go
okay.
for it. Sure. Anybody fire off.
As far as Jacob is concerned, the reason that he exists is Naphtatorin, expressly made him to have this fall of Celestia, to have him show up in town, to actually meet Ulhime, to, that everything from his mother's passing on has been for that moment. And now he seems to have some kind of plan on turning me to the dark side, to take up my mantle. Whatever that is.
He's also a dick. He cut the ties between you and I.
I didn't know we cut your tie.
You did?
Well, he cut ties. He went ahead and gave me back a leg after losing the last one from being almost assassinated.
He generously
He
donated.
turned me from a butterfly into what you see today. Seems like every time he helps me, things get progressively worse and worse.
Whoa, what do you mean? How do you mean worse? You had no leg. He gave you a leg, a perfectly functioning and warm leg, mind you.
I'm sure Rufus didn't mind it.
He wasn't using it.
He's got a point.
Not anymore, anyway.
Well, you're not wrong. You're just an asshole.
He's no longer using it.
And let's face it, your allies trapped you in a helmet. You were a butterfly. They
That
stuck
was
you
for
in a
his own
helmet.
good, otherwise, he would have got out there and started fucking more butterflies.
What was happening that caused him to turn back? Why then? There was something that was happening, something kind of important at the time.
I ate an eagle.
Oh, my
You did.
friend was being hung
Hung, that's right.
Yeah.
That was
permanently.
Yeah.
Hanged. For the love of God, it's
Hanged.
hanged.
Nah, you were well hung, bruh.
That is not the conversation topic.
We don't need to talk about.
I remember you flying over top of us. And
Hey, remember, we already went ahead and ascertained
Just
the
clipping
CRM notes.
roofs every time. Oh man, they didn't. Oh, I can't. I want to make so many jokes at that, but I'm not going to. I'm sorry your dad loved you so much that he gave you a leg. Yeah, he did. He gave you a leg. He turned you back into a real boy. Hell, and
your family's alive.
honestly, he even gave you more power. Hell,
He did.
he gave
a
you
new form.
he gave you arms, extra
Extras.
arms. Yeah.
Like, think about how many sandwiches you make with 4 arms.
How easy it's gonna be to cut bread. You could go into.
Yeah.
You could be a seamstress and just rake in the bucks.
Oh yeah, dude, you could be a pretty good carpenter. It seems like it runs in the family line.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, now that the Doran is back, he's doing things. He's being a thorn in some sides, being a boon to others. Seems kind of good. That tracks us to another character. What does this mean by old man strings?
Take a guess.
Well, I know.
Gilfrey's
Strings is
Silverlight.
the character that Jacob managed to piss off by killing his grandson.
I mean,
yeah.
I know it, but
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Shoving his hands into him.
I can't believe you forgot whose fucking grandson you killed. God damn it, you're such a horrible person.
Which
Fire.
grandson?
Collapsed his lung, and so you were like, I got this! I'm gonna turn him into a meat puppet! Shove! Oh, fuck, he died!
wait, hold on, old man. I'm going to try this thing. I'm going to jam my whole arm inside of your grandson. Ready for this?
Oh, he died.
It didn't work. Sorry.
Here's the bill.
All right, I gotta go. Catch you later.
Is Jacob just the American healthcare system? Is that the allegory here?
No refunds.
Jesus Christ.
Guys, I got this great idea. We're gonna privatize
Catch you
this.
later.
Oh, man.
And then when that almost, kind of made the guy angry, wanting to drag his dead corpse of a grandkid and granddaughter through the town with a wheel with a nail in the spoke, Ronald decided to go, hey, I'm going to go befriend him and make up for
Yeah.
this. And so Ronald got yeeted about 30,000 feet away from the city.
I think independently, each of you, right, except for maybe Thelsa, have met this character.
Yeah,
or has
Thelsa
Rahk
has
met this
talked to
character?
No.
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 Me
Okay,
and Ronald have talked to him outside of Sniper.
so Jakob, Ulhime, and Cort.
Yeah.
Jacob, your first meeting was actually killing his grandson.
It's
Inadvertently.
my only meeting with him.
Inadvertently. You didn't mean to, but you did. And then you shook it off like it was like the dregs of yesterday. Let's move forward.
Once you kill your first, it kind of just lowers in priority.
I'll note that when things take a really weird turn in my life and I start targeting 8-year-olds.
Hey,
Christ.
gotta remember that was like the 3rd or 4th kid he killed.
Glad it's not the 5th.
All on 2 hands.
Cort, what was your interaction?
I have to say 3rd or 4th because I can't remember.
What was your interaction like with Gilfrey Silverlight? Jesus Christ. You start to lose count when you after the first. That's all I'm saying.
But
I can't really count past 3 anyway.
That's why he's like, they're saying I killed 103 people. I wouldn't know. Can't count that high anyway.
Blissful oblivions is still oblivions.
my meeting with him was walking around town trying to find people to help after the slaughter of the entire town. And I came across him trying to push a cart through the street. And when I was like, yo, here, let me help with that, he had a giant-ass fucking nail lodged into the spokes of it, making it nearly impossible to drag even for someone like me.
You found an old guy in need of some help.
Yeah, and then he decided to distort time, fucking threaten to murder everyone within a 20-foot radius.
Was he distorting
And said-
time?
Like slowing it down, if I remember correctly, slowing it nearly to a halt, except for me and him.
Do you guys actually believe that he slowed down time?
No,
I
I
have no
believe
idea.
he
Might have
had
just been putting
an
it.
area of effect spell that caused everyone else to slow down, except for you.
Yeah.
I can recall, and I specifically notated this, that Cort rolled very poorly on his perception.
Oh, horribly.
So what he
As I do
thought
all the
was
time.
that he distorted time. He stopped time as you know it. But some of you may see otherwise. Specifically, Ulhime, I think, would see otherwise, that he may have done other things.
Yeah, he was using the strings to hold people in place.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what he ended up saying was, "Hey kid, you're pretty cool. Don't go to your guild house tomorrow." And then said, "Yeah, don't stop me from murdering Jacob." And then he let me go about my merry way.
If I feel like if you were the storyteller here, it would almost feel like this game was being ran by Zach Morris. Like, hey kid, you're pretty cool. Don't go home tomorrow. Just saying, looking out for you. Cha-cha. But he said other things as well. What?
He said that I'm not that bad of a person. I haven't slaughtered the blood of many innocents, or I haven't spilt the blood of many innocents. And he plans to get revenge on Jacob because Jacob is a pretty shitty person. He thinks that, well, I'm not evil. He thinks that the company I keep will eventually corrupt me. If I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's that's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, he did say that. How after he walked away, or as he was walking away, that's when you noticed that everybody started moving again.
Yeah, everyone started being like, "Wow, I'm alive. Cool.
Yeah.
I didn't get slaughtered by piano wire."
Something like that. Yeah, that's accurate. Ulhime, you had a meeting with this faithful character, Gilfrey Silverlight.
Correct. I tried to rectify the situation with his grandson, but it didn't turn out too well. There was intervention from Weejoss and Pharasma, if I remember correctly.
Perhaps.
I like that change in name.
But either way, I tried to bring back his son, but through divine intervention, I was denied the ability to do so.
She told you. Keep trying it. I'm wising up to your methods, and I'll be able to stop it. But more than that, you had something happen with a physical object.
Thelsa's Athame blade completed itself by absorbing the physical and
Child.
remaining life essence of the grandson.
Yeah.
And then it yeeted you out of the city.
Wasn't the sword.
No, Gilfrey
He
did.
was you out of the
right.
city.
Now, if you think that was any other character, Ulhime, would any other character have survived that?
Probably Rahk, maybe?
Maybe Rahk?
I might have.
Yeah. Pretty sure.
Not without being
You're-
fucked up for a long time.
Did you
Oh,
run into
yeah.
a
Yeah, most
tree?
definitely.
If you ran into a tree, I could have survived.
You were literally thrown out of the back of a stone building over the walls of the city, the bastions of Cauldron, down a volcano, a mountainous volcano.
Yeah.
You just got up and dusted off like, that sucked.
Oh, time to go back.
Man, I wish.
Yeah, I mean, I was
dwarves,
damaged,
man.
but,
Fucking dwarves.
Yeah.
He just
much.
looked at the
Because I
camera.
can't feel-
Mondays, am I right?
But because I can't feel, I guess, pain the same way the living do anymore.
I
was able to
imagine him
walk away.
having that. I imagine him having that freeze moment. You know, just on the downward slope, and this is when he knew he done fucked up.
So Rahk hasn't had a chance to meet this character. Thelsa hasn't had a chance to meet this character, though Thelsa has been gone.
Although, if I meet this character, it's going to be more like, "Hey, how's it going?" you're
Oh
some
wait,
kind of
wait,
ninja
wait!
class.
I have met him
Oh,
a
you want
second
to kill
time.
him? Have at her, but kill his dad too if you're.
Did
at it,
you?
'cause-
Did you see him a second time?
Yeah, he came by the guild house while we were all chit-chatting with, at the table, and he came by to announce himself, and Jacob actually told him, "I'm not going to be hard to find. When you want me, come and get me."
Interesting. I don't remember that.
I want to say it was like during the conversation with Chops.
Yeah, I don't remember that encounter. But it was important. It's probably in my notes. At least the notes that may have survived. Fucking cat. Okay. What's the Temple of Cord?
abandoned.
It's abandoned. For what purpose?
It's with the Lord of Lord. It was the Temple of Lordly Might. That's where I think I have his name. I don't think. Let me see.
It was the guy who we were
Churchgoers.
friends with who gave us access to a secret passageway, right?
Ron Lurt.
Ronlert.
He was the leader of the Temple of Cort.
Cord, correct.
His daughter was a vampire during the attack. She got smited through by me, through him. She turned to dust when I ended up going back to the Temple of Cort the day after. The 3 other members that were there before were murdered in a weird triangle of murder around the altar, and he was nowhere to be found.
Do you think that was his doing?
Yes, because he wasn't among the bodies, and he was the only one who I would say already had a weakened will or was in complete doubt of his daughter, and that seeing the remnants of his undead daughter being vaporized before him was, I think, enough to kind of set him over the edge.
Okay. So what are you going to do with the Temple of Cord then?
Restore it and then find a new leader for it. But I'm not going to usurp a temple to another god. Helm may be forgotten by others, but that doesn't give me the right to trample out another deity.
Right. That's fair. Malgrim.
Last we checked, he was in the shed during the meeting of the first flame and the first spark. And when the
When the
first
Fire
flame
Nation
smashed
attacked.
when the first flame smashed the shed, we assumed Malgrim was still inside, but we searched the wreckage and you said we didn't find a body, so
We didn't find.
we
his
don't know
body.
where he's at. We don't even know if he's alive, so he's currently missing.
Yeah, he is. He is in
But we
fact
found out
missing.
he's a Dampier now because his when he came back, he's still in the form, like the in-between state of being a vampire and not a vamp.
Yeah, he's something different. He doesn't
Yep.
quite know
And
it.
both Stonehavens are still missing.
They are
Yep.
they are in fact missing. You have no idea where they are and what their purpose is. Whom was resurrecting them?
We believe Nab. Nab the Torn had resurrected them, but given the pools of blood, it could even be Weejas.
Where and what were they before they died?
Stonehavens were both dwarves who owned the bathhouse prior to us.
They were cool until they killed them.
Malgrim was a former member of the Flurry of Bros before he died and succumbed to vampirism in the
The Stonehaven
the-
brothers were also vampires.
correct.
It was the Silver Monkey, right?
Well,
Yeah,
prior,
Silverkin.
yeah, well, prior to becoming vampires and everything, they were also the ones who forged the crystal that bound
Ambarda.
And Barda,
Yeah.
correct.
and barred it.
Correct.
Yeah, they were a part of the. There were more than just the Stonehaven brothers.
Was it them or was it their lineage that had forged? Because I don't remember it being them exactly.
Well,
It was-
no, their lineage. They were the
Yeah.
spirits that were set loose along with.
Correct. Correct. They
oh,
were.
so we were talking about the vampire ones. Oh,
Yeah, the Stonehavens and Malgrim were both vampires, and they were found when you found them from their newfound birthings, their capsules of blood. Where were they?
Inside
They were in the bathhouse.
They were in the bathhouse.
In the separate chamber.
What
Yeah,
what
but
else
they
was in the
were-
bathhouse before you?
fuck ton of little vampires.
Vampires,
Vampire kids
vampire children, right?
and,
And
vampire
goblins.
goblinoids.
Correct.
The goblinoids weren't in the bathhouse though.
So-
They were in the.
Do you really think that it was Nathatoran that brought them back? Well, what purpose would Nathatoran and the others serve?
Not sure, but I mean, that being said, it could have been the hags, but then again, the hags work for Nab as well, so it still could circumvent back to him. I just don't know the.
They abandoned Nathatoran. they abandoned TheSniperGoat. The reason that they were working with the vampires, the children, was because they saw an opportunity to siege the city. They had a force, a sizable enough force that they could do it. And the children were lonely. They were lonely. The hags were actually teaching them magic. They found other vampires that were slain, but not completely killed. They just lay in wait, their body's still there, and they were practicing blood magic. Nobody else was going inside of the bathhouse. They had nothing to worry about. And then, lo and behold, you guys came along and decided to lay claim. Nobody else was there to stop it, and that's when you discovered them.
Yeah, we fucked their plans up.
So Malgrim and the Stonehaven brothers are missing.
Correct.
4 and 4.A, you have 4.A, it says Doogly Bro.
Yes.
What is there to still work on with Doogabras?
Not
I mean,
working on, but
our
at least,
business with him is done.
but at least to talk about him, because he was a pretty big component.
Yeah, one of the last things that happened in the game was a rip. There was a tremor throughout the town and a rip just above Crater Lake. And the fire plane, the existing elemental plane of flame, started to rise through to attack because you had one job.
And we literally didn't do it.
Your one job was to stomp out the flame of Doogabras, and you would be in curried favor of the fire plane.
That's why I have it as a 4.A rather than a 5.
Yeah.
And he also was the one who forged both Ronald and Nabi Ken's fucking, what is it? The
Phylacteries. They're phylacteries, yeah.
That's the word.
Yeah.
So he's pretty important to the story, even if he's dead.
Correct. You guys didn't really get much chance to talk about it, but Doogabras was a skilled blacksmith. And before he passed, he let some of you, or one of you, know that the reason that he was cast out from the fire plane was because he went against the First Flame's wishes to make a phylactery.
For sure.
That phylactery was for TheSniperGoat. That's why he was cast out.
Nabi fucking super hard to kill.
The only reason he was let live was because of his relations with the First Flame, and even now, he decided that he was going to try to right a wrong and put out TheSniperGoat by making Ulhime's phylactery.
Which made the Fire Giants want us to fucking kill him again.
Yep, because he directly went against the wishes of the First Flame.
And then when we didn't kill him, he was like, yo, homie, I'm gonna come to your world and smash a bunch of gazebos and kill your people. And we're like, no, don't do that.
He came through in this colossal titan of fire, and he wanted to know why. Why shouldn't he incinerate everything that breathes in this town?
Yeah, we definitely didn't give him a good reason.
And you bowed. Like termites, you bowed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
you were like,
he said that he would give you one chance. He wanted to know why and where. And that's when you guys sent someone off. Was it Ulhime? I think it was Ulhime, right?
yeah, it was
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, because Thelsa had already taken off as
Cort
soon
was
as she
blacked
saw
out
the
from-
flame starting to.
Yeah.
Cort had the lack of oxygen, so Cort and Rahk were both blacked the fuck out. I
And
remember.
yeah, Ulhime, you went off to see him, but you were in a bit of an unfortunate situation when you discovered that there was a gigantic wolf perched atop like a feline.
Mr. Sparky.
Yeah, he came upon me and I stopped him, and then he said, "Well, can't we move in?" And it's like, "Nope, he's telling us to stop, and if we go in, we're gonna die." So we just kind of wait.
He destroyed a location. Technically, they both decided to make moves, destroying locations inside of the city.
Yep.
One was because he felt owed. What did he destroy?
The weakest.
He wanted to know where the weakest were. And who pointed? Who made that decision?
Was it Ronald?
Somebody had to make the decision. He had to know where the
Definitely
weakest
wasn't
were.
Cort, because Cort literally was not awake. So I know it
Yeah,
wasn't
no,
Cort.
I was not there.
It wasn't Jakob, because Jakob was in a different city. I don't think Rahk wants to point to Chops' parents.
Yeah.
No.
This particular genocide isn't on my hands.
No, I think when I first pointed, it was like the burn district, but then he targeted the
Gazebo.
The pavilion.
pavilion.
Yeah, which is where
'cause-
all of those that were left without
Homeless
homes.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was actually given the option to choose the weakest. So he pointed off like towards the pavilion as kind of a way to trick him. And
No,
Was
it
not
pointed to
having
where
any of
the
it.
dragon fire had been through.
Yeah.
But he switched it.
And you guys haven't really encountered anything of this like magnitude yet, right? Like nothing of this monumental power. So with one swing, he brought down a closed fist and ended the
It
lives
killed,
of
like,
how
500
many
or 600
people?
It was like 500 or 600 people.
well, I mean, are we talking like these characters or us as players? Because we have sent some, eldritch horrors out upon the world.
We also met something that I'll never forget.
Right out of
In-
Marcus.
Well, okay, no, that's a different story. It was soon after that, though, when we were in the dungeon of the tree with the blade branches.
Oh
and
yeah, the giant
we opened
forest
the
thing
door
that
to
threw a
the
fucking tree at us.
yeah, we opened the door into
That fucking asshole.
we don't know where, and a giant threw a tree at the door, and
That
then
thing was
it
the
blew
second
open the
worst
wall.
thing in that dungeon.
Wasn't
right
he
before
like way bigger than any standard giant we'd ever seen?
Yeah. Oh, he was fucking colossal. Like,
Oh, he
fucking
was a
that-
titan.
Huge.
He was
a
Big-ass
titan.
motherfucker who's just like,
Yeah.
get out of my house.
You found the door to the basically the level 100 of Occipitus. It's where a titan is kept and only a titan.
And so we closed the door,
Yeah.
and it blew open.
You need to treat us.
Like
for trying
half
to
of the
close it.
tree came through the door when we. And then we grew palm trees and made it winter, and that place was shitty afterward.
That place was always shitty. At least now it's pretty.
Yeah, it was.
That was
It was a
still the
wild moment.
scariest thing we've come across.
I
Yeah.
disagree. That
My-
honey badger was a fucking asshole.
Good God.
I don't know.
He died
some of the
growing.
dragons were pretty fucking scary too.
Any fucking 1v1 those dragons. Those dragons ain't shit.
Those honestly, if you guys had been around, like the one dragon that he got the lucky shot off on at first, that was like literally. I had a 5% chance of failing,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I failed. That like
When we won 2 dragons.
I had a 5% chance of failing
Forgot about that.
twice in a row, and I failed.
And he's killed 2 of them just by himself casually.
Technically,
Well, one not so
Killed
casual.
one of
Any-
my characters.
any died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Horum
because-
fucking went out as a fucking martyrdom grenade.
But because of the equipment that he had exploding in the dragon's mouth, that's what did that dragon in. Yeah, that was it was an epic fucking fight. That
Then
was
the other
a
one, he just
hard
fucking
earned victory.
looked at and said,
Yeah.
Die.
And that just goes to show why you should not be feared by dragons like everyone else in the party.
that would have been
As
great
they
if I didn't have to
high-flown
fucking
in
bolt
opposite
it for
directions.
100 fucking yards.
Yeah, when you sprint, it's like fearing a Master Yi who
just-
just ult.
It just sucked, man. It just sucked so bad because like that was a legitimately amazing fight that went down. It shouldn't have
It
gone down
was.
that way. I got some unlucky rolls, you got some really lucky rolls, and it was a fairly legendary fight. If Horum, or wasn't even Horum, was it? Was it Horum?
Yeah, it was Horum.
If Horum had
That was-
survived that would have been like they would have erected a fucking statue for you. That would have been impressive.
If I hadn't,
They were supposed
mean,
if I
to
hadn't
carried
be
his
been
corpse
anyway.
around
the
afterwards
dragon and run
his
for
memory.
yeah,
But-
if I hadn't run for like 20 rounds, Jared so would have raffle stomped.
Oh,
that
yeah, we
fucking
would have
dragon.
done
I think it was actually 6 rounds at top speed.
Yeah. It was the third dragon that I hadn't had a chance to fucking hit.
In round 1, when you were like, nah, not today, and the dragon fucking had a heart attack, that's when I was like, well, this is horse shit. This is absolutely stupid.
After
Welcome to
me,
the real world now,
after
Greg.
me failing a called shot
Yep.
with
That
a
was-
plus 20.
That was frustrating. Like that encounter was hyper. But that happens, right? Like that's a tabletop game. You got to roll with the punches.
No, it happens to me.
At least they didn't feeble mind the dragon. Nah, they phantom fucked his heart. Is what happened. That's what happened.
Hey, it wasn't they, it was me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take this one. I gotta live by my dragon slaying ways.
Sure, I guess that's a thing. Okay, all right. So, Dugobras, you guys gotta. This is the thing that I think is most interesting about it is you guys, each of you independently, have a lot of information that you're just not sharing with each other yet. But I think that makes for a more interesting game, is because if you put everything out on the table, then suddenly your private machinations come to light as well, and you get called out for it.
Thelsa's on a don't talk until spoken to kind of vibe right now with the party because she knows a lot of shit that she doesn't want to share.
Jakob may or may not have taken a deal to kill Thelsa.
Well, good luck. I'll make him shit his pants from dying.
After death, you're just gonna.
I didn't know you have a brown note spell.
After death, you're just gonna brown those draws, kid. Sorry, it's just happening. But yeah, you guys need to share the information that you have on Dugobras. The Church of Ouijas. I know this is primarily Innie's thing, but I know that Jakob has some ties here as well. Ulhime probably has some involvement. What exactly are you trying to do, aside from revamp the church?
I would like to become head mother of it, but I have a list of tasks to do prior to.
What are your tasks?
I need to prove that both the ex-head mother and father are either dead or incapable of progressing as head mother and head father.
Okay.
One of which is MIA, which I need to find, and the other one is Ike Iverson, which is clearly incapable, but I need to prove it.
Right. Who was the first mother of the church?
I can't remember her name. I never.
Embrol Elustini.
That's correct, Embrol Elustini. And she's gone. She's just missing.
Yeah.
Nowhere to be found.
She fled alongside the members of the church when everything started to hit the fan, but she didn't flee to any of the other churches of Ouija.
Correct.
So we don't know where she is.
All right, so goals for the church. You want to know where they are. What other things have you been told?
I need to cut my ties with the Demon Scar. There we go.
With the Demon Scar.
Yep.
Yeah.
And my last and most important one is no more killing people for my own desire.
Yeah, you have to abandon that.
No more innocence.
Yeah,
Sure.
no more killing your family members is basically what you mean.
I don't have any more.
Well, yeah, that makes it really easy for you to go ahead and quit cold turkey then, doesn't it?
Yeah.
They were the only innocents that I'm aware of that you were killing.
They were the only innocents that well, no, that's not. I also murdered my ex-party.
Yeah.
Thing.
Yeah.
You were part of their party. Does that really make them innocent?
Yeah. I mean, the devils of the underworld were making bets on how I was going to kill you guys. That was a thing.
Who the first was to go? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, then it became, is she going to have a chance to kill them before they kill themselves?
They're watching.
Okay. So the next on this list
Please.
is Doom. Embarda. What part and or point does Embarda play here? How?
He killed his kids and he got really pissed at us.
Yeah.
Oh no, was that Dorlot?
That was Dorla was Embarda's kid.
So we've killed Embarda's kid, but the actual babies that we killed were Dorlot's, right?
That was Embarda's grandchildren.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we killed his grandkids and his kids.
Wow, you guys really have a thing for killing people's grandchildren.
Look, Sniper's really good at it.
Are they children though? If they're
Eggs.
Well,
dragon?
technically,
Look, that's a whole different political argument for a different day.
Actually, and I think I was the only one doing that killing.
True, I didn't contribute. Again,
look,
and
you
also,
owned up for once.
Thelsa wasn't.
I did too, actually. Cicada killed a bunch of them. I'm not allowed to talk.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, Cicada was with you in the pits fucking slicing them.
And I was like, shit, man, that water's toxic. I'm gonna stay away from there, and you should probably not kill that.
Cicada, I remember specifically because I was carrying a giant ass rug with me that I had to put away from the water because I didn't want to get dirty.
Yeah. So what do you think you're gonna do here? What are you gonna do about Embarda? You gonna invite him out for like Mai Tais? What's happening?
Well, who here knows about Embarda?
He came out of the lake when we were all alive.
Yeah, all we know is something came out of a lake.
We were told by the ones who were still alive who it was, which was Klaus.
Klaus was his last tie, and that's because he owed Klaus a favor, and then Klaus called in the favor. And
No,
then
Klaus was dead at the time.
When he flew out of the lake?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
I
pretty
thought
sure
he was
he
alive at the time.
Yeah, Klaus was alive, but he didn't tell us
Was
about
alive.
Marta. But after, so we have all seen him, but we don't know who he is. That was the Flurry who knew who he was. The Flurry who had killed all of his kids, and the Flurry who had killed his grandkids, and the Flurry who had basically given him his new octopus tail.
I mean, he is also a Dragolich named Doom, so, you know,
He's not a great
he's
guy.
probably going to make another appearance at some point.
Well,
Yeah.
We might have to do
kill
something
another,
about it.
maybe kill another one of his kids.
Is there any way that you guys
Actually,
can find
you know
out
what?
more about this particular dragon?
Innie actually, so one of us has actually killed one of his kids, and that was Innie. Thelsa killed
Oh.
Mr. Plague Dragon. So you did kill one of his kids. You killed Hooknose.
Was that one of his kids, though?
Hooknose McFuckface.
That no, I don't think that was Hooknose.
No.
I
No.
didn't know
Well,
that it
technically, there's a couple people that we could go ahead and talk to him about. But
Sasha would be one.
was. I mean, you could just scry for him.
Sasha would definitely be one. We could probably go ahead and speak with Jenya. If Dire Straits came about, you know, Jacob could go ahead and talk to his dad. There are sources of information. We just aren't
We could
smart
go to a
enough
library.
to know to go to them.
Yeah, you guys.
Stay a while.
There's a
and
lot.
listen.
There's a lot there. Wolf, what's going on, man? Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that.
So, different dragons, I believe. I think there's still one of his 3 children left alive.
Yeah, we haven't.
There
one that
haven't
we haven't.
actually been that many dragons in the history of this game, to be honest.
We've had at least 3 of them.
Um,
None of them I've had a chance to fucking hit.
At least, no, we've had 4. There was one that we fought at the 7-headed, or not, it was a red dragon that
maw.
we saw at the,
Oh, the one that Crazy Jared fucking threw.
yeah.
at.
We just saw it, and then it flew away, but it existed.
There was the
and then there
dragon
was-
that was underneath us in the gold pit where the vampires now resided.
The void
Was it
dragon.
that-
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's correct. That was
The one that I
There
got
was the
Technically-
void dragon.
scared for fucking 4 rounds.
Technically,
and then
it's-
stunned by blinding magic, then didn't get a chance to hit.
by all technicality that wasn't even really a dragon. It's just got quote unquote dragon in its name, but it's not even that.
Okay.
It's more like a worm.
Sort of, yeah.
Still sad I didn't get to slap it. Then there
And
was
then
the
there
dragon
was-
that Eddie killed.
Yeah.
Correct.
Or Horum.
No, one that
And then
Horum
there's one
killed,
that
one
Thelsa
that Thelsa killed.
Yeah, you guys have not encountered Hooknose. Hooknose
No.
is hiding, actually. He's hiding
So
away.
Who was the one that Eddie killed with mind tricks?
That was the Plaguebringer. I can't remember his name.
Okay, I thought.
I don't
thought
actually
Plague
think it was related to,
Durlot.
like, all of the other dragons.
It is.
Essentially.
Actually,
yeah,
it is.
He was one of the brothers.
It was one of
Was it?
Ambarda's sons, yes.
So
Yeah.
we've killed
Two of
Dorlot,
them.
we've killed...
There's
Plague
3
brother.
sons.
And we're the only one we
yeah,
haven't killed. Is
one's missing. So
Correct.
we've come across 4 in a one.
I just
3
love
and
how
4.
we accidentally keep killing his kids.
That
I mean,
is-
accidental or not,
I would-
it's in the
I would say
region.
the only accidental.
You guys
ones
are
we're in.
you guys are in the region. Because you're in the region and you're inevitably moving up this pit, you are discovering more and more of these things that like more of creatures and fonts of power. So yeah, that's accurate. You are discovering these things and you're going to be coming up across these things. Yes, Wolf, he is supposed to have 0 constitution. He is technically not even alive anymore. He is operating on the undead spectrum. What did we decide that you were, Ulhime?
He's humming with life.
An archlich?
An
or something
archlich?
like
An archlich, that's correct. He's an archlich. He's basically a vagrant protector that follows a deitic claim. So he has what you would consider as a phylactery, but he operates a little differently. Instead of like traditional drain properties, he can transfer life force. He does have some healing properties. No, it's fine. Don't worry, man. You don't have to be sorry about it. Just this is the time to ask questions. If you guys are
Yeah.
first timing in, this is our recap of events and talking about things that happened last time. So please feel free to ask any questions whatsoever. I'm not going to say all of the answers just because if it reveals important information, I don't want that out in the open for my players to know. They have to discover these things.
Yeah. So basically, we're just going over all the stuff that we should know reasonably, and have
correct.
just forgotten over the years because we're a little bit dumb.
I was going to say
busy
it's
and
because
boss
you
the
guys
campaign.
stay busy.
Yeah, we got no choice but to stay busy.
But
I mean,
the truth is...
I'll be honest. At this point, all Jacob knows is that he's with the guard, and he's trying not to fuck up anymore.
You ask who's the end boss of the game? Who's to say it's not one of you?
I'm pretty...
Dibs. I want to cast weird on you guys and then have you all roll poorly.
I'm already weird enough as is.
And then watch all of you die because Phantasma Killer is hilarious.
You know, on this sheet, gearing all of your notes that you guys have, there... Who changed this? Oh, no.
Specific.
It's... What is this? Someone changed some notes to Comic Sans.
Okay. Wasn't me. Before you fucking point your finger at me. I pointed it out earlier and said, I love whoever switched this to Comic Sans.
It's going to be either you or any.
No, I've changed everything to Arial since I got
I
in.
asked Any if he was changing it to Comic Sans earlier, and he said no.
Well,
so it was neither me or Any, and that's
Why the
fucking
fuck
secret.
do you like Ariel? What is wrong with you?
I don't like Ariel.
It's the first one at the top. Like, I could have taken Times New Roman, but...
Times New Roman are fucking bust, man.
I'm angry.
Look,
I'm
I
with
only
you.
like to write my notes in wingdings, personally.
So you have to translate them out of Wingding so that you can read them?
No, you don't translate them. That they're encrypted.
It's the weakest form of encryption known to man.
There. Now
I
everything is
thought it
Times
was
New
Norton.
Not far off.
So,
Everything is Times New Roman.
last things on this list, we have Mayor and Adamarcus. Who wants to take one, and what are you going to say about it?
I'm gonna take
Adamarcus.
Adam Marcus and say we know nothing. We let him out once, and then we're like, "Hey, see you later." And then
we let him out of our prison by killing one of our members, and we were like, all right, homie, catch you later. And he was like, cool, thanks.
Let's pretend as if I have never seen the show and I have no idea what the Adamarcus is. What is an Adamarcus?
Adamarcus is the god of chaos, tricks. So he's a trickster kind of god, kind of an asshole, kind of evil, not specifically evil.
He's pretty
we found
evil.
him. Yeah, we
He's pretty
found
evil.
him. We found him in a dungeon, chained up in a cemetery,
He
and
was
we
very
offered.
starved.
We offered our meat tree bearer, if I remember correctly, right? Or no, it was
No, not quite. I
wasn't it?
remember this part, but
Okay.
Lane's character, one of the ex-players in the game, had fainted, and he desired her blood. And I just wanted to make sure that we didn't draw enough blood that she would die. This was Jimmy,
that Jimmy.
and-
That's the name I was
and
searching.
he gradually gave Adamarcus more and more blood until he was strong enough to pull the chains from the wall, which he did. And he came forth, and he took my hand, and he wanted to give me... I don't know if he bit my hand or kissed it, but he touched my hand with his
He
mouth.
gave you a one res free pass.
Yeah, and he said, "You can use this." No, I res
Connor.
Connor
Yeah, Rook.
Rook.
And then he
The
left.
session.
Like,
the next
Yes,
session.
he-
He left again.
yeah.
But there was
We'll
consequence
miss
to
that
the
one.
resurrection, which was Jimmy's life. It was a life for a life. And I still wanted to know what would have happened if I had grabbed Adamarcus, who was alive at the time, and it's, life for lifetime. I still wonder to this day.
Yeah, he just kind of fucked off, and we haven't seen him since.
Yep.
He's
And
been,
then he
he's
took
been
off.
part of our
and
story at some point.
we know that he's got ties with Doom, but aside from that, we don't really know anything about him. He just kind of went off and decided to gain power by seeking the blood of people across the river.
He probably became a baker.
I'd like that.
Yeah.
I'd let him put a bun in my oven.
God, no. God, that sounds terrible.
Wait,
Heard he was making pies on Fleet Street.
Last but not least, someone that has had their hands on all the pies has been around the game the entire time.
Yeah, Mr. fucking Mayor.
The mayor. What is the mayor's
Mr.
name?
Fucking eyeball floaty motherfucker himself.
Severin Novelon.
Severin
I think
Novelon.
Ronald would be able to explain because Ronald has the most interaction with the mayor.
Technically, everybody has had at least a little bit of interaction with the mayor.
Yeah, but Ronald likes to party with him on the weekends.
You did give him a gift after all.
Only time I met the mayor was
Correct.
during the burning of the city.
I met him
Or-
when
well,
Ronald signed
during the burning / vampire attack, and then it was just kind of like to go ahead and chill with him until the Blue Duke died.
Yeah. So,
Cicada, or not Cicada, Cort met him when we went to sign the guild charter.
what's the big deal about Severin?
Homie's a beholder.
He's actually a beholder.
What
He's,
purpose
he-
does he serve in the city?
He wants
He
the city to be his.
oversees it, but as far as his ultimate goal, we don't entirely know.
How long has he been in the
He
city?
was from the.
Years, right?
He's been in. He was one of the behold. He was beholder in Malachite's fortress way back when. If I remember correctly, that's what you guys said.
Yeah, he took
there
a
was
child
a time where he
from-
came over to us
Yeah.
and
from
eated
I don't
those
know if it was a
kids.
Malachite fortress or if it was. I want to call it Theoden's cave because I can't remember his real name
'Cause
anymore.
that's what-
No, he wasn't in Drektar's way.
That's what it was. Thank you.
It was
He was in the
Malachite's
one where you
fortress
got
at some
eaten
point.
out of it.
Okay, then yeah, it was the Malachite fortress.
We don't know we don't know his entire purpose. I've had conflict with him politically, and
And you've also
essentially-
fucking pulled him out in the middle of the room and had him turn into his form.
true. I would say due to Ulhime's ignorance of politics or just his lack of understanding of
Social structure.
having to make a sacrifice. How do I want to say it? I guess put a hardship on people for the sake of the entire city in the long run. Ulhime didn't understand that and saw it as a form of corruption,
Okay.
and sought to literally purge him from his office. Failed to do so, but kind of over time started thinking that he's not an evil. At least he hasn't he wears a brand of evil similar to the people that he's seen, but he hasn't done evil things.
He's doing things to make the city better because he wants the city to keep living.
Correct. So
But
in
he's not
sense,
Not a good guy.
yeah, in sense to I guess understand him, he told him like, yeah, I don't know a lot of how the politics of how you run the city go, and he did apologize for it, but he did tell him that if he did sense that it was to come to an ultimate demise, that he wouldn't hesitate to fight against him. But as I don't know if you'd call it a reward or a way of penance on Ulhime's part, he literally gave Severin his life in his hands and told him if something ever happens to hold on to the shield because it would protect him.
So does that make you an ally? Does that make you a pawn? Where do you see yourself in allegiance or in allegiance whatsoever with a beholder?
It's not. Ulhime wouldn't see it as an allegiance or anything like that. I mean, he did this guy wrong by literally trying to take his life. So the only way he knew how to right that wrong was to essentially give him the same opportunity. If he wished to take it, then Ulhime wouldn't really object to it.
Okay.
So that's why he gave it to him. But he told him if he ever needed the help to hold onto the shield, Ulhime would know that if he was in danger, because Ulhime would feel the potential pain that would be inflicted on the mayor.
Okay. All right. Severin plays a very interesting part in the town. He is a necessary evil. Prophet of Fear says, wasn't it said that he's occupied multiple bodies, so he wasn't just this mayor? He did say that in passing. It
He
sort of
was
fell.
every other mayor too.
Yeah, it fell on deaf ears, but he, in many ways, dictated that he's been mayor for a very, very long time. Even if he has to had to occupy multiple forms, so as to
In certain
pay
lifetimes,
off.
he has to change. Yeah, he has to change himself every few
decades.
every lifetime or so. Yeah, to be the mayor.
Yeah. Which is good. It's good that that was brought up. So
Yeah.
when it said that he's been here for years, Years sort of seems like an understatement when decades might even seem like that's far too short.
Yeah, centuries maybe.
Potentially? He's potentially been an operating force?
Time.
He's been here for a long fucking time. That's right. Okay. And I think the last thing that needs to be talked about was a callback to the meeting with Charlie Miles. The last time you saw Charlie Miles, he was occupied by someone that has declared themselves to be Helm. The one true Helm. The god. Ulhime's deity of choice, even though at one point he called himself Helm. What was his point? What was the point of this figure speaking to you at this time?
He wanted us to essentially stay on the path to stopping these evils that were essentially in the city, and then I think he told the rest of the group that they should keep an eye on me so I didn't fall onto a path of evil, if I remember correctly.
Close. He spoke to Thelsa, Cort, and I think Rahk, right?
Yeah.
Or no, Thelsa wasn't there. It was just Rahk and Cort.
I was not there.
Uh,
Thelsa doesn't go back there unless she has to. She stays at the temple.
I don't even think Jakob was there for this. Or were you there for this?
I think he was there because he's been back.
He has been back.
No, Jacob was there for the conversation
Yeah.
with Quasi Helm.
Okay.
And if I recall right, he was basically there to point out, you're not doing your job right. Keep it up. I'll have to come back.
But he
Tell
did say
Ronald that if he doesn't fix his shit, I'm taking my job back.
But he did say that, correct me if I'm wrong, but he said, if I'm not needed, then I will stay gone.
Yeah. He was like, I'll piece it out if I'm not needed, homie.
If there's someone that can do my job better, I'll stay gone, as I'm no longer needed. So, there are a lot of pieces on the table. There are many factions that are operating inside of Shackled City. And in this game, as a testament to the players and to my own ability, it operates in real time. So the rest of the world doesn't slow down. There isn't a stopgap set in place to let the players play catch-up. When they choose to ignore a certain series of events, or they focus on another series of events, the rest of the world continues. The bad guys, or those in power, or those that are manipulating that angle, steadily continue to move and manipulate that angle. It still continues around them. It doesn't just sit and wait. It's not like a video game where you have to transpire into a scene and then suddenly they monologue. Sometimes the bad things happen regardless of their actions.
Yeah, case in point, the vampire children.
Yeah, that's accurate. It could have been totally avoidable, but because they chose what they believed was the lesser of two evils, it mounted up to something far more serious. But they knew it was a threat. They knew it was a threat for a long time. So, I want to sort of open up the floor here for, one, the players to ask questions if they so desire, but two, I want to open up the questions to the viewers, every one of you who are even lurking. You can ask questions about mostly anything, but we try to focus it on the game. If there is any questions, with all the information that you've sort of absorbed, or that you may have missed, what might you be curious about?
Any chance we can go ahead and take a $5 while we do that?
Go for it. If you need to step away to grab a smoke or to take a pee break, then by all means, go for it.
I have a question.
Okay.
How long until the Ruby convocation?
The Ruby convocation.
Last time I asked, you'd said a month from the day
Correct.
I had asked.
I was actually going to ask you.
I don't know how long it's been since then in game.
It's only been days. It only took you some time while you were there. It was a few days, and you move swiftly. You move very, very quickly. So
I know I can be there within a day. Just Thelsa won't miss it, but any might forget.
Correct. that sounds like that is, you should probably start a separate piece on this document and state like goals, Any's goals, and or whatever you want to call yourself, any, Thelsa, whatever, Thelsa's goals, and dictate that in order. Like what is important at this point, as opposed to things that are sort of left unspoken of.
I will start that and keep note of everything, because currently it's all stuck in here, and some things just get thrown out the window when something more important comes.
Could I recap the recap? Oh, that would be messy. Basically, the recap is there's a lot of bad shit happening. A lot of people have died.
We're the cause of a lot of it.
Arguably, more people could be dead or alive based upon the actions they had chosen. They just thought that they did the best they could. Will Sniper's next character be Jake from State Farm? No.
We did what we could, and now this is the result.
Did the god leave? They have no idea. But he did say that Charlie, the character that they have been around, that they've known for so long, has become the perfect vessel. It is one that he can function inside of for a short time.
I think Helm just wants to party on the weekends.
I don't think Helm's ready for the kind of parties that he can't.
Geez, I don't know where to start. That's okay. That's okay. It's a lot to sort of break down and swallow at the same time. There's a lot happening in the city. He's also not a good neighbor. It's true. Would the mayor, who had been around an extremely, extremely long time, have any good information on the former cleaner that could help them resolve the dispute or fight him on a move equal footing? Potentially.
More than likely, but if it's someone who he's hired in the past, he's probably not going to tell us anything about him.
Potentially,
unless
but
he's a direct harm to the citizens itself.
That is an angle that the players have to work. If they decide that they're not going to do any research on that character, this cleaner of sorts, feel free, Silverlight.
You were going to go ask him.
Who? You were going to directly go and ask him how long he's been in the town and operating?
Yeah, that's why we went to the inn. We were going to go talk to him directly.
You guys were not going to go. You guys were going to go fight him. You guys were going to fucking go fight him.
No, I literally said I wanted to go talk to him.
Right. You wanted to go talk to him, but everybody else was like, well, if we gonna fight, we gonna fight. And that's when Fables popped out and was like, whoa, what the fuck are you guys doing?
Fuck out of here.
What are you doing?
What are those?
So it wasn't because I wanted to go talk. It's because she knew that they were going to be aggressive toward him.
You don't really know what was happening in the basement at the time. You don't know what was happening down there. And if I tell you what was happening down there, it sort of defeats the roleplay that's upcoming.
And
but,
we were trying to break in.
Yeah, you guys totally dismantled a magical lock. How does Charlie feel about a god getting in his pants? Charlie doesn't know.
Yeah,
Charlie has
woke up and we were like, "Hey, you just woke up here, dude. You were in a rager."
Yeah, Charlie has
to go home, and he goes, "Oh my!"
No idea that he's being ghostwrited by a god. How do you tell a mortal that and have them believe it?
You know how you got here? Possession.
You had a god hold into you.
Don't tell him it was a god. Leave that part out. Just tell him it was possession. Anyone will believe.
Here's a good follow-up question that I ask back to you. Knowing this and asking that question, do you think that Sasha knows?
Probably.
Do you think that Sasha cares? What is she
Probably
doing?
not.
What is she doing with the soul of a god?
No, she broke the artifact I gave her. And now, if she doesn't know, she's like, well, shit. And if she does know, she's like, well,
oh, shit.
I also don't know that she's a dragon, so I can't piece that together.
Oh, yeah, I went and visited her, and she was a dragon, like, several times.
You guys actually have no full confirmation that she is a dragon, just that she can change into the form of a dragon.
True. Either she's a dragon that can become a human, or a human that can become a dragon, and that's what we know.
Yeah. And that she's obscenely powerful.
She's also kind of cute.
She's also kind of cute, yeah. Yeah.
Kind of cutie, TBH.
Yeah.
Like an 8 out of 10 on a good day.
So he
and
fell,
then she turns into a human.
And now he needs a vessel? Well, do you guys recall how he wound up in that in that device, that apparatus of sorts? Did he ever tell you? I can tell you. It's not going to change anything now.
Who?
And it's something that he'll tell you as well. How Helm ended up in the device.
I'm guessing it was some kind of work of someone, because they put it inside of a statue. And I'm not thinking it was Helm himself. I'm thinking it was Orcus.
Well, where did you guys find that statue?
In the Church of...
Cathedral of Feathers.
The Cathedral of Feathers, which is where the Dawn Cataclysm actually occurred.
I want to say that sometime during the Dawn Cataclysm, I can't remember who the statue was the individual of, but I want to say that he probably sealed
Orcus.
Yeah, either that or whoever created the Task of the Smoking Eye.
You're very, very close. Yeah, so roundabout way of looking at this, without spoiling anything, but giving you the information that can help you. He was slain, but his soul still existed because they didn't have a way to permanently kill a god. Whenever there is belief in the world, the god is incapable of dying, but when he cannot exact his domain, his tenets, if you will, then people stop believing unless they're reminded. So when they slayed his physical form, they trapped his soul, and they put it inside of the statue of Orcus after the Cathedral of Feathers crashed down into Occipitus. You happen to, by chance, stumble upon it because of an
Smash it into
accident.
the wall.
Because of an accident, entirely. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
that statue was expensive as fuck, and we needed money.
Yeah, we put it through the wall of my church, and I spent a good while repairing that.
Imagine what's going to happen when the person who buys it finds out that it's not been perfectly put back together. Or, what happens if the person that bought it knows, and then when they break it open, it's not there?
Well,
It's gonna be really awkward.
Well, that's why we sold it
surprise.
as is.
Trees in your eyes.
Might take my first level of rogue because I swindled somebody.
Yeah.
You don't take it, you gain a level.
Just to bring
It
up the
just
figure,
throws on.
who facilitated the sale?
The
Mavu's wife.
Mavu's wife.
Mavu's wife.
Do you have a
Whose
name?
I don't remember.
Right?
We always just called her Mavu's wife.
Misogynistic bastards.
That was her birth name. What do you mean?
Yeah, I still don't have her name. I never got her first name. I just got Miss Arlental. Mrs. Arlental.
She goes by Miss Arlental. She actually never told you guys the rest of her original gnome because of the reason.
We know she's from the desert. She was a former slave.
That's right. She was a slave. She doesn't actually want you guys to know her real name. So you know her as Miss Arlental. Yeah. Yeah. That's actually why she spoke with you, Ulhime, is because you're both from the deserts of Osirian.
So did Mavu buy her on the market?
Yes.
Is that how he became in possession of his wife?
Yeah.
That's
we
weird.
talked about it.
He didn't actually buy her because he wanted a wife.
It's because he wanted someone to manage the warehouse.
No,
No?
he went. It wasn't even the intention. Long story short, he went there looking to make a trade deal. He stumbled across a slave woman, and he wanted to free her. It was one of those things like they fell in love instantaneously. He was like that's the one, and he's like, no, this is my slave woman. He's like, I'll buy her outright.
Right now.
And when you work as hard as he does, he basically just walked in and threw around money. She knew how to deal with the trade. That's
and
why
then she gave him shit for it because he paid way too much.
Yes.
We all know what happened.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Yeah, basically the equivalent of getting your own Russian bride.
But-
Mail order.
Then it sort of worked out. They didn't just detest each other. It's like a love. Oh, it was perfect. They at least have an operating relationship, whereas in some don't. Any other questions? Anything?
Can't relate.
Concerns?
Can't relate. All of the people I try and get with die, so...
That's not true. Sasha's still around. Kiana's still around.
Okay, I haven't tried to get with them yet. I tried
Fables.
to get with Dupercross.
Fables is still around.
Yeah, but if I want to make deals with one, I can't make deals with the other because they kind of hate each other.
That's so true. Welcome to D&D, my friend.
It's okay. It's okay. I'll just cut ties with one of them and then...
You two-timing whore!
You know, well, I'm not two-time, man. Technically, I'm not murdering an innocent person.
Listen, Hi Mother, okay? You have to put the evil out of your heart, all right?
That's not true.
Adultery is a sin in the court of Ouija.
That's not true. Also not true. She promotes it.
He's like, I checked specifically for adultery.
It's true. I'm very adult.
Yeah. Ouija's is just like, hey, if she ain't dead, it's cool.
It's just, don't bring the dead back. Yeah, if they're dead, you can make them dead.
I need to cancel a wire really fast. You know, I understand SoCal completely. Are the vampires wiped out fully? So the vampiric threat is gone. They eliminated it. It came to basically a flashpoint. There was a flashpoint, a fire that was set about the city, and more than by the Dragon's Mouth, there was a war upon the city. The vampires, the goblinoid vampires that had been starved and basically became operating whites, these ghoulish-like little hell monsters that ran through the town, eating anyone and everyone. They also had a dire bear and 3 hags, sister hags, that were quite potently powerful. They lost the entire force down to like 12 named characters and 50 men, of which 42 of them deserted. So they're slowly but surely rebuilding the forces of the town. This is why they were trying to requisition help from the other towns. Yeah, it's still a problem. They'll figure it out. Yeah, it's a nasty situation to be in. They're literally a few moments away from completely losing the town, so it has nothing protecting them. If another force waged in, short of some big players enacting some failsafes, they would be taken over. Not without a fight, of course. These 5 right here would put up a hell of a fight. Yeah, it would be a nasty mess. So is there anything you guys feel like I missed?
Not offhand.
I don't think so either. I think we're mostly caught up.
One other thing I forgot to mention earlier is that...
Well, I mean, we're caught up as far as recapping what's come up to this point. Now we really have to stop and decide just what the hell is going on in the city and what our end goals are, because we got a lot of shit on our plate.
It's more than the missing Skellering body. It's the missing Skellerings entirely.
Yeah, all 3 Skellerings at this point are missing.
Well, Tercion was buried. Mal is missing.
Mal, well, he's
long dead.
Missing, but my dad's kind of impersonating him, using the body, inhabiting him.
Jared, on the other hand,
is missing.
It's just missing, and nobody has any idea where at all he is. Not even a clue.
He's missing, and so is my shit.
Yeah. Well, I know where your shit is. That makes total sense.
You know where my shit is.
Yeah,
I don't.
It's with a bunch of people that broke out of the prison and now have a bunch of cool toys to dick around with.
Oh, don't tell me that.
I don't know how you haven't come to that conclusion yet. It was utter mayhem. There was a fight going on in the town, and they were like, there's some weird shit that's glowing and humming in there. What's that? Oh, it's a neat sword. What's that? I've got a badass sword now, and I'm free.
So now my character literally has nothing.
Well, I mean, you can
say for the secondhand shit that he pulled off of the sorcerer kid.
Welcome to my life.
Well, you had a family.
Fuck off. You got and you got a pretty cool
he still has a family.
Not by choice.
And I made the choice to not have.
I have one family member who I want to kill, who is certainly not an innocent.
why don't you? If you want to be strong, you just gotta cut the things that hold you back in life out of your life.
So, to my players, Inny has already started. There is a Thelsa's notes. This is more so than just notes. I would sort of like a bit of a more detailed than one word if you could. Key out a Red's notes or Cort's notes or whatever. It's your primary goals at this point. This is something that's going to be updated periodically, maybe even session to session, depending on if you have succeeded in pursuing this. I'm trying out a few new things, and giving you ambitions and desires are amidst those. I want to see what your ambitions and desires are going to be. These other things are on the table. You know, Nabby, Gilfrey, Severin Navalont, whatever, what have you. But these, at the very, very bottom, under Thelsa's notes, this is your ambitions and desires. Things that are occurring as it stands. I want to be able to reference back to these and be able to tie in your personal stories accordingly. But because we've heavily invested our last probably 10 to 15 sessions in personal story, it's time to get back to the primary tale. I want to get you guys back into the primary focus of the game. And you may not remember everything that's happening, but we'll get back there very, very quickly. That being said, my personal expectations of the game.
Why did you? What's that?
This is for the players and for everyone else. My goal is to end Shackled City this year. It may be a big pull, maybe a big goal, but I want to put a pin in this game. It has now ran for 5 years. Probably a little longer. We've crested a lot of sessions, and very, very rarely do you find games last this long. Hell, most games anymore, lucky to see 20 sessions. 20 sessions is considered a long game. So 170 plus, that's fucking nuts. That's nutty. That's full-on squirrel shit, my guys. That's almost impossible. I've never heard of anyone else running a game that long. Short of, we don't know how many sessions, quote unquote, we've just been playing for our whole lives.
So, are we going to end on 200? Is that the goal here?
No. No, I think it's probably going to end a lot closer to
150.
We're already at 170. Red.
Exactly.
We're trying to finish it this year.
Game's over.
There's only 52 weeks in a year.
Yeah. This just means
would leave us in October.
that I'm going to be focusing. I'm going to be focusing on getting you guys through a fair amount of content while delivering the best possible stuff that we can have. It doesn't mean that we can't dick around. And if it bleeds over a week or two, that's totally okay. My feelings aren't hurt. But I have new things that I want to push you guys through. I have new games that I want to try with this group, or even without this group, depending on if you guys want to continue playing.
Oh my god, you mean you actually want to put us in another game together?
He has talked about it, our next module before. It's the Worms one.
Yeah, I would like to do the Worms game. Shackled City New Game Plus, fuck right off.
We just start over with our current characters.
Yeah, it's the same storyline, but now we come in at level 20.
This game
just shows like
this game would be over in 5 sessions. 5 sessions. You would find your way into Adamarcus, you'd fucking kill him, you would find the mayor and you would kill him. You know what, better yet, you would just be like, let's just wait till Sasha shows up. And we'll pay that bitch so much money and she can murder everyone.
Like, yo, Sasha,
I'd
want a
fucking
milk?
cast the stone containing fucking Imbarda into the deepest
So,
sea.
you know, instead of
I'm gonna
going
swallow
deeper, we just hold it and we just put it in our pocket. We're like, all right, we keep this for a rainy day.
Basically, a new game plus for us would be like the end credits of Deadpool 2.
How much to make that happen? A new house bot? God, why would you subject yourselves to something like that? That
I would just walk into Sasha's place, be like, "Hey, this is the mystery of the cock or the cock."
Oh my,
the
yeah.
cock goblin.
And then
I'll
it would all be
only
over.
agree to
We'd
it.
just get married.
I'll only agree to it is if we can bring back our original fucking characters.
Oh yeah, you do Klaus.
Deal.
I'll do Cicada.
Oh no, Klaus was not my first character.
Oh yeah, Rango.
Cromwell.
It was,
Cromwell.
No,
Was it
Rango.
Cromwell? Yeah.
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
Cromwell.
because Ringo was the other one.
I don't know if you guys want me to bring out Fareed again.
No.
Fareed was a pretty terrible character, but I loved him for it.
Whoa, 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 whoa! What the fuck? How was he?
You
Let's
started
just,
dogging on yourself and they got offended when I did.
let's just remember.
I was
20
talking
Jimmy.
like, oh, you guys don't want me to break out the accent again, and you're like, no, he was a pretty terrible character.
Well, yeah, the accent is part of that.
But level 20.
Am I
Jimmy.
hearing that if we buy Bubba house, we can get a Shackled? You know what? Sure. If by the time this game's over, you have somehow managed that I bought a house outright, then I'll fucking give you Shackled City Plus, and I'll make not only my life a living hell, but these players as well. Just for your enjoyment. We'll dance, and I'll wear titty tassels too while I'm at it, just so you guys can be happy. But if I get a fucking house, then why not?
This hell is already better than the hell.
We'll never get off Mr. Bones' wild ride. Woo!
I don't know if I love you enough to do this again. New house or
Mason,
not.
no. Jesus. Tap dancing Christ. Oh, my God. Yeah, so, you're right. I am thinking about the next game. I'm thinking about what is after Shackled City. Because there's something. You have to play into a larger house. Or play into a different game entirely. You guys are entering latter half. I mean, you're over it at that point. What is the average level now? 13?
Like 11, I think.
No, I don't think anybody's level 11
We've
anymore.
died several times, so
I
it's
think
kind of
we
hard
were
to tell.
Technically 12.
I think everybody is a minimum of level 12.
Everyone except for Thelsa
oh, yeah.
is 12.
Yep, level 12.
13.
Yeah, 13. Correct.
So
Man,
our
that's
average is 12.
that's fucking weird how you wound up the highest level with how many deaths you've experienced. Holy fucking
It's-
shit.
Well, he also he
Goes
got
to
his
show
levels
that
from being
one
fucking-
shotting everything kind of gets higher than everyone
No,
else.
it really helps when you're making dirty deals with
Look,
Mephistopheles.
turns out the key to getting
Hey,
levels
fair.
is slaughtering your defensive family.
I just like to, I mean, honestly, everybody here has had opportunities to garner personal deals like that, but Eddie has played a much dirtier game.
There's also
Most
a
of us
question I
aren't
need
down to
to
murder a family.
inquire about that I never really got an answer.
Sure, what's up?
I don't remember if I've asked, but if I do somehow find means of ridding myself of my ties
Curse.
to the
Demon Scar.
The Demon Scar.
do I lose those 2 levels and do I have to backtrack?
You'll have to find out.
Yeah, because I don't know how I would. I couldn't imagine permanently losing 2 levels, just erasing everything from my character sheet and trying to remember what I.
So, like, experience is, by and large, a mechanical device to explain events that have occurred in the life thereof, the survival of, the understanding of events. So, narratively, you probably wouldn't lose your levels. You may lose some of the features. You may lose that darkness that binds inside of you because you're basically harnessing the soul of a demon,
Hezru.
a Hezru, like an Hezru lord at that.
Yep.
But that will only go on to help guide you. It will likely shift your alignment further.
Yeah.
Oh god, no, Bulba, that would be legit us trying to seriously play a vampire game.
What we do in the shadows in tabletop form? I mean, I think it's feasible.
That's just us.
I've got a couple ideas of things that we could do. They would love it. They would hate it at the same time, but they would love it.
Yeah, well, I don't do vampires, so that's neither here nor there. No, I think I've got a list of things that I'd like Jacob to manage.
Well, record it. I would love to see it. It looks like... Oh, somebody copped in a couple of notes here. What is this other note to look out for? Was this from... Wait a minute.
That's Ronald.
Oh,
I
it's
think he was
Ulhime's notes.
basically
Okay,
doing
gotcha.
Yeah, he's doing some some
Because
bookkeeping.
Ronald wanted to be first over
Sure. These notes will be trimmed a lot over the coming days, and it's something that I'm intending to focus
Mine will
upon.
be drastically shortened.
It's in alphabetical order, but last to first. In
Also,
counter alphabetical order.
I will probably be going through, and if you, like I said, if you guys can recall other NPCs that haven't made this list, please dictate their names down so I can start getting their information up on the table.
Wasn't there a Valenture that we, or not Valenture? There was a guy whose name started with a V that we met who was a noble.
It was Valenture.
It's
Lord
Valenture.
Valenture.
He's the one who gave Sakata gambling money.
Yeah. I
That was
don't
his
know if
only
he's still
contribution
alive.
to the story. He did nothing else.
And I don't know if he ever is going to play a part in the story, but he existed.
He's named in the book. He's relevant.
All right.
He's the one that set us up to go kill the twin shield dwarf.
He hangs out at the cusp.
Splinter Shield.
Yeah.
What level do you get the notes? I'll probably put it at the $10 level. Anybody at the $10 level will get the privatized game notes. And these will continue to evolve as long as this game continues going. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys get to go ahead and take a peek into our fucked up minds.
So they'll come out soon. I'm going to try to have it out within 2 weeks. It'll be out for sure before the end of January. So you guys will have access to this. But that's pretty much all I have planned for the night. I wanted to give you guys a solidified recap, at least figure out where we are on the same page, and to see if you guys are actually stoked to come back and continue playing your characters.
I have been not stopping thinking about what I plan on doing, and a couple of people in game can attest to this because I've talked to them about my future with this character over the past month.
Well, I'm super excited to wrap up your storylines. More like they're not going to all tie in together at the very end. Some of them are going to tie up sooner before later, and you'll have to find new reasons for yourself to continue traveling, such as Cort. Cort's motivations at this point are to survive because he has found his master.
I've been able to put down the back of my city, and I'm just trying to figure out if my friends are complete and utter assholes, if they're just stupid, or if we're bringing about the apocalypse.
Sure. Lots of people have brought this in. Hey. Callie, I think that's Callie, that just jumped on board of the $25 Patreon tier. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Very, very, very huge of you. If you guys decide that you want to be on board of that tier, the $25 Patreon tier is the Creative Crew tier. As it stands, I have a squad of people that are willing and capable to start writing with me on projects. I am dropping in information about my private Vampire the Masquerade game. So if you feel like you'd like to add in your bits, I'm trying to drop in new information daily. If you like Vampire the Masquerade, or things such as Pokemon, like Kanto Crusades. Kanto Crusades, I've announced, will be coming back this year. Additionally, starting next month, I will be opening up my private games, my pay-to-play games, for Deadlands. If you are curious to know what it is, it will be a Deadlands home ran game that you guys can jump into, pay to play.
Is this like based off of the novel series?
I don't know the novel series.
Ah, okay.
Yes,
Post-apocalyptic nuclear wasteland type.
No. This is actually right up your alley. Of all people, right up your alley. It is supernatural Wild Wild West. Yeah.
Okay, I'm interested.
Yeah.
You're talking to the guy who likes magic and looks like Colonel Sanders here.
Oh.
Okay, first and foremost, fuck you.
Anytime, baby.
That disarmed me a little bit, but
It shut you the fuck down.
Yeah, it did.
I'm not against it, but I'm not for it.
Nothing says spellcasting like Kentucky Fried Gas.
I would really love to go
Try
ahead
our
and
new
do-
Nashville Hot magic missiles.
What the fuck? I love it. I hate it, but I love it. Oh, it's so
Next
good.
character.
But
Next
yeah,
character.
starting right now, everything
Yes.
that's happening inside of the Creative Crew is going to be about tying up some of the narrative loose ends for Shackled City. I will be dropping these notes in there. Patrons that are at that level will have access to this. If you happen to be at the $10 level, you can get this just to view. At the $25 level, I will likely be having people like Christy, likely Karami also be making some edits to this. Additionally, the VTM stuff will become available to Creative Crew. It's out there. I'm starting to post ideas. I've got people like Hale and DoCubes and a few other people that are making some edits that are helping me plot. That's what I need. I need some VTM plotters. So if you like Vampire the Masquerade, you're into 5th edition, and you're down to ruin some lives, then consider hopping in at the Patreon tier, the $25 level. If for all else, you can get shirts and shit on my cost. I'll send them to you. Nothing to you. So, that's what I had planned for tonight's game. That is my shill. Check out everything else that we do. Here is a big bump in the socials, just in case you guys want to see where to find me all over the place. Or I'm stupid and my bot doesn't like me. There we go. Discord, absolutely free, comes at no cost. You guys can hop in. Facebook, which gets edited and added to daily. The Twitter, where you guys can catch my ramblings and things like that. My Instagram, probably going to be focused more on some of my weight loss stuff. I'm going to be making an announcement about that very, very soon. A video will also be out regarding the weight loss and the goals very soon. So you guys are going to find out a bit about that still. YouTube, we're going to be focusing on a new and original content that is specified specifically for YouTube. Lots of DM help tips and stuff like that right out of the gate until we can sort of find our niche of the things that we want to talk about. And then Patreon, it keeps the stream alive, keeps the dream alive. Lights on, food in our bellies, roof over our heads, that kind of thing. So consider supporting, guys. Every bit counts. And that's all I got for the night. Any questions or comments from my players?
What's the color of your underwear?
It's navy right now, actually.
Good to know.
I'm wearing Galaxy underwear because my ass is
out of this world.
Not a joke, though.
I'll give you props for not wearing
Christmas.
brown to today's session.
Not wearing who?
Brown. Not wearing brown.
I'm not going to answer this because I know I'm going to catch shit for it.
Well, it's because you're not wearing underwear.
No.
The tiny whities.
I'm wearing the Lion King underwear.
I applaud you for your answer.
I'm not gonna ask.
You know what? There's nothing. I got nothing.
Please tell me
When you
that,
dunk on yourself so hard.
Please tell me
none of us
that
come up with anything.
every time you go to the bathroom, you pull it out and you go, Ha Savannah Serenissima.
My eye.
You can see as far as the urinal.
I really do, believe it or not. I do that even when I'm not wearing this particular set.
Knew it. It fucking fits.
Don't
It fucking fits.
fucking
He keeps
lie.
he keeps a jar of orange paint with him for.
God damn it.
Oh.
All right, guys.
Yeah, I knew I was gonna
Before it
catch
gets
that.
much weirder, I'm going to go ahead and call it here because I've got yoga calling my name and I'm going to go stretch a lot. Yep. Very soon, probably starting next week, we will also be recording our post shows. So if you have an interest in hearing extra dick and fart jokes, you guys will be able to catch that again at the $10 tier on Patreon. So consider rising at least to there. At the $5 tier, you guys can get into our movie night. $10, you can get all of the excess game materials. $25, you actually get to help me write games. So consider it. Yeah. I'll check you guys later. We're going to get out of here. And, well, I'm going to make fun of them for a minute before I go stretch. So love your faces. Have a good one. Do what you do. Stay safe. Stay nerdy. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace. We're out of here.